You are experiencing echoes of Calus's personal torment, glimpses into his past which may provide insight to the future.
To understand the final shape, I must become more than myself. Freedom for all. Please, no, please, don't do this!
And in that understanding, perhaps we can prevent the second collapse.
The witness would see things differently. The gaps between those threads. Freedom from the greater design. The light is a fascinating thing, and in my ignorant youth, I may have seen it as aspirational, like gold.
This is not what I anticipated. The imprint of Calus's consciousness is fractured, straining, as if Calus's mind is at war with itself.
But my Leviathan, it is strong. Its heart beats anew, and as it pierced the veil of creation, the voice greeted me. A world that knows only war has no future. We were not always conquerors. We were not always tyrants.
I have snared that thread, caught it between my fingers and woven it into a tapestry. One that I can weave you into.
The only component that was missing was a connective tissue, and this, the egregore spores would provide. My daughter will grow up knowing only celebration, triumph, and peace. This is the world I made.
And so Calus's truth is laid bare. From his rise, to his fall, to whatever it is he is becoming now.
Do not open doors you cannot close. Now, long shadows in the night, hands clutching knives, eyes at my back. I hear them whispering. I hear them. I am the herald. I am the end. No one of honor will be interred here. The dead are raw materials and nothing more.
You arrive. Good. Yes. We have only a brief window of opportunity. What you feel may seem like reality, but it is not the one you know. Your mind now stretches across a vast gulf.
The key is to realize the future isn't an enemy to be fought. It is a friend to embrace, a closing of the circle.
According to the Hive, the final shape is that which remains when all that can be removed has been removed.
There, in that gravity shadow, I was truly seen. There, I understood my role in the closing of the circle. Stop! Stop! I command you! Exile is the mighty goal. Too great a coward to kneel down and take my head from my shoulders. The light and the dark are threads on a loom, woven into the tapestry of the universe by those who wield it. Through the crowd of sorrow, the voice in the darkness called out to me. beckoning me to the absence of Mercury. There is fear in this. Fear of losing myself. But there is no other way. I must prove my loyalty, or wither. I am as you made me, and I would kill you were it my choice. But it is not. Calus stayed my blade. Remember that.
I must focus to maintain your connection to this mindscape. From here, you must navigate these memories on your own. But I believe there is yet more to find within. Should you be willing to delve into his nightmares again?
The Hive were not those who could most elegantly bear the crown. My shadow, Calus, has found the alternative.
The final shape. This is something I have heard spoken in Hive Apocrypha, and from the lips of Tolan the Shattered.
My daughter, my star, my betrayer. Shadows were cast here, history made. Perhaps I have displeased it. Or perhaps I am not listening hard enough. Peace hers is detractors. I was too kind in my coup against the Praefort, drank too deep of the cup of mercy. But these guardians entertain me. I will use their ignorance, shower them with lavish gifts, with praise. There was a time I would have gladly laid in death beside you, here in these crypts. But we were both different then.
Now go. Time is of the essence. I will be with you from afar.
All my history is etched here. From humble beginnings to my rise as Emperor. It is an ancient tradition of our people.
Calus? No, not Calus, but an echo of him. This is a recollection of a time since past.
My love has been turned to poison in my veins. They do not appreciate all that I have done for them. My sacrifices! She is more beautiful than any star I have ever beheld. I name her Kaito, for the brightest star in our sky. May she outshine it always. The Praetorian's time has come to an end. Too long have the people of Torabottle languished under their heel. Now. At first, I feared the Leviathan would not survive the journey, as the Glycon had been rent asunder by a similar journey. My servants come, but I refuse their succor. I will not feast. I will not drink. I will wither away until there is nothing left. The witness's voice is so strong now. I hear it clearer than my own. I understand now what true paracausality is.
Calus. Calus is seeking transfiguration. He believes it will help him better understand the goals of the witness. The darkness is thick here, coalesced inside this effigy of Emperor Calus. It is tethered to his very mind.
I'll watch them dance into the grave of creation for my amusement. In my haste to find a suitable bearer for the crown of sorrow, I failed to see a more elegant solution. The promised end is at hand, as worlds are swallowed into nothing, and I hear nothing. Excruciating silence. My bell of conquest is so grand, because I have lived a grand life. One day, my daughter, yours will be just as majestic. Soon, those whispers will become screams. The ghost Primus is the answer to this sedition. My red legion, anointed in blood. At the edge of the universe, I stared into the infinite deep. It stared back and was pleased. I see this force for what it truly is. Eternal life after death is a trick of the light, an illusion. Nothing is forever. I must shed my remaining attachments to this flesh and ascend. The others have, and a path is laid before me. The witness opened its mind to me, and I saw my darkest desire made reality. I will be the last. It is my right. Ever since she was born, Kaiten has shown a curiosity for the world beyond. She shares my fascinations. Savathun, she nearly had me. Had I not birthed Galba, had he not donned the crown, I would be lost. All betrayal is inevitable. We're a ring of beasts, feasting upon one another. I become the herald of its victory, and bear witness for all creation. And when the end comes, I reserve the right to be last. There were such sights to behold. You were bred to be a sorrow bearer. I seek a hive commander, but those are not so readily available. So I made you. I have reached the limits of what this crumbling body can offer, and yet there is so much more that I must do.
It is as vague a notion as it is fascinating. If this is the witness's true endgame, we must strive to understand it.
Mindless corpses of fallen, risen through an Ahamkara's wish magic, fueled by darkness-infused ether, the scorn. If violence carved us into the the shape of what we are now, then so shall violence be that shape's undoing. The voice warned me of her, but I did not heed it, and the voice is so silent now. I worry for her, for the galaxy she will grow up in, for the future of our people. But perhaps the time for worries is at an end.
Breathe. Breathe. You have returned to reality. I shared your experiences and am uncertain what to make of it all. Enter Calus's consciousness. Use this opportunity to steal his darkest secrets from him. Though while this world is born of Calus's thoughts, it is no less dangerous than physical reality.
Guardian, welcome, welcome. The Leviathan beckons, and you answered. I knew you would survive its greeting. When this ship passed beyond the threshold of our universe, the change had already begun. You are witnessing its growing pains. It is not failure, it is progress. I imagine this is how Keitel must see me. A crumbling monument to indulgence, long forgotten.
Perfectly? The way I hear it, most of them were failures, like the one you engineered to bear the crown of sorrow.
That monument was forged from exotic matter, mined from the heart of a neutron star. It was sculpted by one of my empire's finest artists.
People have made me similar offers before, and they never turn out well. For anyone.
I have become quite attached to this fungus since I discovered it on a world far from yours. It grew in great forests across the planet.
I'm reading pieces of exterior hull fused with the machinery below this lift. I can't explain how the outside of the ship got in here.
I had it butchered. It felt insulting for her to love an animal more than her father. Do you hear that, Guardian? The Leviathan is breathing. Its veins pulse. Its heart beats. This ship is alive in so many ways. Keitel will come to see things my way, in her own time. Once upon a time, I would enjoy watching blood sport with my shadows, loyal to the end, to their friend, to his riches. These mechanisms no longer serve a purpose. My cloning facilities no longer serve a purpose. I have been shown new horizons. It has long been a point of personal pride that my loyalists are handcrafted, each meticulously engineered to exacting specification. What you are standing in is the liquefied remains of failed experiments, which was fed to their unborn kin. My menagerie became a feeding trough for such splendor, the likes of which are both beautiful and obscene. I encourage you to stay around long enough to bask in the majesty of our transformation. Only that which does not exist, which has never existed, is truly free. Contemplate this, my friend. I assume Gaul saw fit to change that, turning them into something that is a military asset and not a partner. A shame.
It looks like someone fought a war in here before us, but I've never read any reports of a full-scale conflict on the Leviathan.
My shadows paved the way for my transcendence, and for that, I am eternally grateful. Milos, Kaito's first war beast. I gifted it to her when she was just a girl. She was so very attached to it. Too attached. Our last meeting beyond these doors was exhilarating, was it not? I wish you had been able to stay, to shed this dead meat you inhabit.
This must have been a deployment system. When whatever was engineered down there was finished, it was brought here.
It matters not. I gave my daughter everything she needed to succeed, and she returned the favor with a knife in my back.
I suppose that makes sense. I can't imagine anyone willingly serving you.
My cloning facilities below the baths are a labor of love. It took centuries to perfect their design. A once glorious monument, now little more than a sunken head. All things decay and change. It is the nature of the universe.
The plants we're seeing here appear to be concentrated through those doors. Maybe it's where they started?
I once reveled here for hours on end, contemplating mysteries of the universe while soaking in these now stagnant pools. War beasts are a celebrated part of Cabal culture. They were native to our homeworld, Torobatl, when such a world still existed. Even more so now, as each is but an appendage of the greater apparatus I am becoming. I cannot wait for you to behold my majesty. In my era, each beast was bred to serve a specific handler from birth. The bond between war beast and soldier was profound. But for a time, they join your consciousness to that of the mycelial network and other minds that would witness you. There were those among my loyalists who lacked conviction in the face of the unknown. No transition is ever painless. The Leviathan is growing, changing, transforming. You are witnessing the death of one state of being and the beginning of another. Gorged on wines and fruits from across the Empire, asking questions of the stars. Yet the truest question was one I could not think to ask. May he rest in peace. The material was highly radioactive, and in the end, it looked better plated in gold. Perhaps in time I can help you understand. All of this, it is temporary, fleeting. It is not worth fighting for. I remember a day when these lifts would rise, expelling new, perfectly engineered Cabal champions into my embrace. Ah, yes. I suppose calling these baths is a bit of a misnomer. They are built atop a cloning facility where my loyalists are engineered. I encourage you to witness these changes for yourself and ask a question. What more could you become, if only you didn't fear loss? And yet, I continue to give her chance after chance, hoping that perhaps she will see reason that I only want what is best for her. Beyond those doors lie some of my greatest creations, but also my greatest failures. I feel a sense of kinship to my loyalists. They are like family to me.
There's material embedded in the hull here. I can't be certain, but I think it might be ghost shell fragments.
This nightmare suffers an endless death at the hands of the hive god Crota. Only further violence will lessen its pain. We may be able to disperse them by resolving their associated traumas.
Such tenacity, such grace and wisdom. This is why I want to share my bounty with you.
This sounds a lot like the ley lines in the Dreaming City. Is that possible?
They are majestic, are they not? These fungi are not unlike your world's mushrooms in how they live, how they breathe, how they grow.
Loss and longing turn to desperation and panic. We will need to provide an offering to this nightmare in order to provide it the desired catharsis.
But even those aspirations were misguided. I did not truly see until I slipped beyond the edge of our universe and was witness.
Looks like Calus has seen better days.
Your scout is as keen as he is troubled. I did have some guardians as guests. They appreciated my generosity, my compliments.
Weird readings here. The power conduits below this spot have a reversed flow. The energy is behaving strangely. I don't know how to describe it.
This nightmare is lost here. An echo of moon-born trauma. If we provide it with a suitable offering, it will find catharsis and sublimate into the dark.
It's not actually alive, is it?
Even here, infinitely far from where the first spore was harvested, they remain connected. Darkness is many things, Guardian. Many things. I merely hope that when we do, it is with one mind and one vision for the future, not as enemies.
These nightmares have been drawn from the moon by the Leviathan's siren song. The trauma that bore them into this world is anchored there, not here.
The Leviathan has changed since last I had guests. Its innards have twisted into new shapes, its steely flesh blooming with new growth. I appreciated their capacity for enduring pain and the generous offerings of their final deaths. Nothing is gained without some sacrifice. We do not have to be enemies. I have heard the voice in the darkness, Guardian, and it sings a song of peace everlasting. Come and see.
Only an offering made in good faith will disperse this nightmare, and its needs seem specific. I believe I know where we could find a suitable substitution. We must find a suitable offering from among the resonant materials of the Leviathan. That should cause this nightmare to disperse. In order to disperse this nightmare, we must find an offering to satiate its imprinted desire. I believe I have identified something that may serve our purposes. I feel this nightmare's agony and terror, A moment of death stretched across time. It will only be released by more violence on another.
I'm sure Eris might find this information insightful, but I'm a bit nervous about intelligent fungus that can think across the void of space.
Do you know these fungi are drawn to the unique psychological phenomenon of death, the moment of true terror before life ends. Terrible and beautiful new life will bloom from its carcass. In my exile, I thought of the Leviathan as a prison, but what I have found while journeying has given me greater perspective.
Abandoned and alone on the cold and lifeless moon, this nightmare recalls the feeling of being separated from something precious. We may be able to substitute a replacement. Like the ghost stories of old, this nightmare haunts the Leviathan with unresolved affairs. If we provide it with a specific material offering, it may yet disperse.
The map of the Leviathan says there was some sort of arena near here, but I think it's derelict. No signs of life. There's bodies, though.
But now, we're of one mind.
Why is Calus showing us all this instead of Keitel? Is he avoiding her? There's definitely something below us, a larger facility. I can't tell if it's still functional. On a scan, it looks like the hull folded in on itself.
Their mycelial networks do not proliferate in soil, but rather spread like ethereal conduits between dimensions of space.
I'm picking up something weird under the... Wait. This isn't water. It's a protein slurry. There's Cabal DNA mixed in this, and...
This withered flesh is an inefficient vessel by which to explore the limits of sensation the universe allows. I wish for something new.
There's spores in the air here. Same kind we'd seen aboard Calus's research vessel Glycon. They don't seem to be harmful.
A material offering should provide this nightmare with enough cognitive dissonance that it simply ceases to be. It is the best we can hope for.
One of these days, Guardian, we will meet face to face. There is an inevitability to our lives, the course of them.
This nightmare is born from an emotion of desperation and loss, and we may be able to dispel it by providing it with a substitutional offering. I feel this Guardian's pain so clearly, the taste of bile in my mouth, the blind hunger for revenge. They want blood. They are lost, perhaps even confused, if such phantoms can experience emotion beyond the snapshot of pain they represent. This nightmare relives the trauma of a guardian long since dead. Only violence will bring it the catharsis it yearns for.
Based on structural scans, this chain is part of a containment system that connects to a lab below us. It's too badly damaged to use.
They are lost, perhaps even confused, if such phantoms can experience emotion beyond the snapshot of pain they represent. I have identified an offering that may have this nightmare disperse. I have transmitted the telemetry to your ghost.
But Calus sacrificed countless lives to feed his pet project. This is horrifying.
Fear of death compounding into resentment and hate of the living. This nightmare desires death for others, and it will only fade if you deliver it.
Aspirating the egregore spores allows them to take root in your body. While they are symbiotic, they are also short-lived.
A nightmare, drawn to the Leviathan, seeking the death of faceless enemies as a catharsis for its own suffering. it asks you to deliver such violence.
According to the Vanguard database, Calus' throne room is beyond these doors, and below it some sort of fabrication lab.
My Leviathan has been changing, contorting itself into new shapes and forms, both regal and majestic.
That sounds a lot like cowardice. You're too afraid to lose, so you'd rather just give up.
You would do well to keep my daughter's name out of your mouth. Well, she is not, and never will be your concern. The heart of the Leviathan. Yes, a forge where I replaced tired and imperfect flesh with gleaming steel and glittering jewels.
War Beast statue. Gold-plated and can't tell what the material beneath is. Definitely radioactive, though. Good. Great. Perfectly normal. All right, Guardian. Let's go. See what Calus wants to show us.
So much pain. So much suffering. And yet it will only languish here unless we deliver its pain onto others. Such is the cycle.
It's probably best that he's not here, though. With his history, I'd hate to see what nightmare the Leviathan would create for him.
This nightmare is a snapshot of suffering, and only through inflicting more pain can we banish it from the Leviathan.
Entropy knows no master, walking hand in hand with the phantom of time. All things that exist are doomed to crumble. This ship was once so full of a specific kind of life, vascular and wet, flesh, meat, bone. Now, new life flourishes in the dark.
I wonder if Saladin has a war beast of his own, now that he's working with Keitel.
These nightmares have been drawn from the moon by the Leviathan's siren song. The trauma that bore them into this world is anchored there, not here.
Huh. Cabal really do love their war beasts. I wonder if this was a specific one.
The death of sentient beings fosters the growth of these fungi. Normally, it takes centuries for them to spread like this. But
we may be able to disperse them by resolving their associated traumas.
I can feel every bulkhead, every door, every pillar pulsing with new life. You understand now what I wanted to show you.
You think this statue is big enough?
A Guardian's fear of final death burned this nightmare into the fabric of space. Now all it knows, all it will be satisfied by, is more pain.
Going to take a while to get that image out of my head. That doesn't make any sense. It sounded like he was talking about a lab, but if I'm reading this map correctly, this door leads to the baths.
There is an unplanned truth in the monument's depiction of my form. Just as I have let the statue crumble, so have I allowed myself to.
Straight ahead!
All the same, proceed with caution. On the moon, phantoms and nightmares alike were attracted to remnants of light, refracting them into weaponized projections of fear and doubt. Agitate the pod and coat yourself, but take care. Zavala?
Vanguard Reconnaissance Op Midas is go.
It is time to leave. Hold fast. I will retrieve you.
Guardian, the exiled Emperor Calus has anchored his ship off the moon.
Nightmares exploit a target's vulnerabilities. They do not make contact at random.
Shortly after the Leviathan's arrival, it emitted a disruptive frequency.
Eris Morn, our subject expert and lunar field agent, will oversee your mission.
One of Calus's contraptions. This does not bode well. I'm calling in your ship. Move! That door leads to Calus's throne. The helm's instruments detect it is radiating pyramid resonance. They may try. Press on.
Eris, do you see her? Don't let her go.
They were generated by the lunar pyramid, dredged trauma like scorch marks lifted from a ruin. The House of Calus falls to rot, and his loyalists have abandoned their posts.
We assumed the broadcast was comms interference.
Come and see.
This is not the way. Something has placed itself between us. I cannot reach you. They are not as quarrelsome as their nightmare counterparts, more lost wanderers meant to dissuade the intrepid.
Lightbearer, I have seen your kind before. You seek oblivion.
But I do not believe this is the Guardian's nightmare. Is the entire vessel infested?
But then the pyramid responded. I believe a connection has been made. Your task is to confirm that notion and assess the danger.
Ikora has spoken of these fungal growths before, in reference to the derelict Cabal cruiser, Glycon Volatus. More phantoms, congregating around something. Destroy the Arc Conduit. We do not know what else lurks in that shared abstraction.
When you see, you will know what must be done.
You've been seen! Move!
It's not. Pursue this lead.
Keitel's fleet is holding a perimeter.
Stow your weapons! That Cabal radiates foul energy. Keep from sight! Egregore spores open one's consciousness to darkness, allowing passage through fungal barriers. Vines fuse to spine and skull, stimulating brain activity. An experiential perpetuity, endlessly feeding the Egregore.
She's guiding us to Calus.
Guardian! Run!
She's gone.
This could be a trap. Do you see the phantoms? Strange that they have left the moon.
Crow? Crow, report. Eris, can you reach him?
Show yourself! A worthy victory!
Do you hear that? This is it. No margin for error. Eris, Crow, Keitel, get into position and plant your amplifiers.
I have raised a shield. Pull back!
Amplifier set. Status report.
Amplifier set! Heading to...
Calus! This is going to hurt. A lot.
The others are not with you. Father! Do you see me?
Keitel, what is it?
Then we do this alone. My amplifier is set, and I am in position in the throne room. My coward of a father is nowhere to be found. I see your failures, your doubts, your fears. You could have stood at my side, but instead, you chose this. I see you, daughter.
Her comms are being blocked. Guardian, get to the throne room and see what's going on.
Keitel?
Guardian, straight down the middle. Go make some noise and draw Calus's forces to you.
Stand fast! There is nothing to fear!
Hope you don't mind, but I couldn't resist a chance to be a hero one last time.
My amplifier is set, but loyalists are converging on my position. Calus is not fooled by our attempt at a diversion.
Guardian, to me! I will raise defenses! You are safe by my side, Guardian!
Guardian, stick to the plan. Find Calus and...
Working on it. I've got a lot of heat back here.
I'm already on my way. But it does not speak to us. This connection must be severed. Keitel, without the binding ritual, it is as I feared. We must abandon this. Turbines halting, then I won't.
Proof that fate could be defied and brought to submit.
Like the aroma of drippings hitting a crackling fire, an inescapable, primal draw.
The Severance site is not far, and now the way is open. Go. Cabal pride be damned.
Silence! You are a weak imitation of the Gaul I knew.
Keep to your task. Without the binding, you are vulnerable. At least wait for the Guardian.
You demanded I rule in your shadow. With the Vanguard, I stand equal. The Cabal stand equal.
Good.
The interference is a voice. I've heard it whispered through the tree of silver wings on Io and beneath the ice of Europa.
I thought I'd beaten Calus' softness from you.
There is one Cabal. All others will submit or fall. I'm ready for you.
Tenacity, ruthlessness, guile. The same crude tools the Hive brought to our home.
My throne cannot be challenged by what we were, or what others want us to be.
Guardian.
With Keitel bound to the crown, together we cannot fail.
They speak of what once was, and no longer of what could be. Is this the new Cabal you've envisioned?
What's taking so long?
Fan turbines offline. The final severance awaits.
You have squandered my victories with your ineptitude.
Drop pod breach successful. The ship has turned rancid. Your Gaul is a monster, but mine is legend.
The Cabal will die alongside them. A desperate ember fading against the dark. Tools you cast away when desperation drove you to beg.
You are mine, Dominus. But if they wish to see you beaten, I won't deny them.
Get on with it.
I thought I could do that.
I don't need a hive-tainted witch to explain my failure.
A dreadful blade manifests from the Harvester. Keitel was not bound with us. Amplifiers may not help her. Our time is better served making sure she isn't killed.
A pit fighter who climbed the Red Legion, then led an armada to shatter the last city. Take the engines, Guardian. I ascend another path, but I will see this through with you.
The light spawn ignores your commands. They have forgotten Cabal dominance. Brilliant! Brilliant!
There is a difference. Mine are better.
Come to challenge me again. The beaten always do.
The old ways are dead, Dominus. I forged a new Cabal in my image. It does not require your approval.
You are nothing more than a child playing, Empress. You lack my drive and your father's vision. Now your Mythkeepers list the world's lost, not added.
Theirs is the buzzing of insects caught in turbulent winds. When the wind shifts, so will they. I was taught to hone my mind.
Your way proved inadequate to save our people. How can you not see that?
My shield held the line as our people evacuated Torobatl. My shield!
I was fighting with weapons you gave me. Now, I wield my own.
Fight Calus' loyalists alongside my soldiers if you must, but do not assist me. We've both humored scribes conjuring purpose for us, futures that never came to pass.
Plant your amplifier and do not linger in the spores longer than you must.
Was that it, then? If dead men and sanctimony are all Calus has to threaten me, He might as well turn the Leviathan around and run.
Then that is where she will stay. Fly. I wish to watch the chase.
I will find you at the end.
Individuals are defined by what we are not, after all. Unfortunately, this duality we are partners in is short-lived. I have warned you. I have offered gold and power and so much more, and still you deny me. Do you hear her doubt? She disrespects you. They all do. What did you learn watching me rise? I am limited only by your weak imagination. We lifted the Cabal from Calus's stagnation. Gaul conquered this system! Gaul exiled Calus! Gaul broke the Traveler's will! You retreated. Death before dishonor, Keitel. You used to know that. They are using the Cabal. Using you. The Empire is cattle flesh between the city and their enemies. Soon, I will grow beyond such small ideas as conflict. Until then, I will savor our time together.
We eat the mountains. We drink the seas. Let them come.
Eris, have you pinpointed Keitel's position?
You stand with the Traveler's puppet? Against me? You have grown fat from weakness, drunk on their patronage. Keitel has hunted me for so long. Now, to feel her rage burn through the underbelly, driven by Gaul's brutalism, it is intoxicating. Keitel, dispatch this light spawn, and send its head back to the city. Your edge alignment was poor. I see you, Keitel. I see your new Cabal pulled from the jaws of extinction. You have surpassed me. Oh, thank you for this gift, Guardian. We truly are friends, aren't we?
No. But I have inserted the Guardian near her drop pod's breach point.
You're not the Keitel I trained. She was feared as a star pilot, dreaded with a cleaver, a warrior. Where is she? I attempted to subdue the light and burn for it. But you wield it on your war council. What conquest is more deserving?
What are you doing, Guardian? This conquest is mine.
You still don't understand. It wasn't conquest. It was compromise. An act your traditions never would have allowed.
You were never able to best me, Keitel. That's why I left you to hold my throne. Tell me the Vanguard doesn't hold your reins, Keitel. In truth, this is what I always desired, my good friend. A display of my enormity, immortalized by those who resist it.
In my youth, I watched you cut your way to the top of the fighting pits, like a bloodied idol. I thought you were magnificent.
They have proven otherwise. I do not fear our enemies. The light is at our back, and we are the Cabal.
Keitel will arrive shortly. The interference has returned, more complex than before. Something language adjacent, but familiar. A translation of a translation. A dreadful blade manifests from the Harvester.
I see our home burning under your banner. Weakness runs in your blood. I will show you myself.
The Leviathan's transformation is a spreading miasma. When we stop here.
Bring the Guardian then. I will gladly remind them what fear feels like. You have finally grown beyond the prescriptions of your idols. Despite my legend, Call is flesh. His words are only words, like yours. Every bond you sever, every piece of my fleshy hull you storm, paints a worthier tale, crowned by the triumph of my expansion.
Crush him with your light, as the Traveler did!
Your mission hangs in the balance. Keitel is getting away from you.
She died, smoldering in the ashes of Torabottle. Your lessons with her.
Move quickly. She may be in danger.
You grovel to our enemies for protection, like Calus has gorged aristocrats when the coup crashed on their doors. But Gaul taught you your mind was a weapon. They will let every last one of us die to save themselves.
We will find her. I'll keep you informed of the situation as it develops.
Just because you can't imagine a future beyond yourself, Dominus, doesn't mean there isn't one.
But you didn't. You brought words instead of fire.
Get on with it.
That is vengeance. Beneath me, as I ascend to peace. But still enjoyable to look down on.
A hammer of proving, commemorating Gaul's joining the Red Legion. Each amplifier grounds our severance in the Leviathan's connection to the darkness. Retreat is not weakness. Breathe. We can try again, in time. The amplifiers appear to be fighting an unknown interference, but they are working.
That was a mistake. It was a mistake.
You can endure this.
I'm a guardian of the city. I'm sure Mara and I will work together at some point. We'll just need some realignment.
This mechanical appendage is maintained poorly, unable to see the grandeur of your brave face. Come now, closer. Let me bask in you.
This is between you and me.
The ship was changing before we arrived, Crow. Crow, you can do this. You are strong enough.
Prince Crow doesn't quite have the same ring to it, but we'll get by. After which, things did not improve.
Endure him. The Leviathan's connection to the pyramid frays. Our gamble is working, Guardians. The lockdown is again lifted, and power rerouted. Proceed.
When we first touched down, I wasn't sure. But I trust you. Both of you.
You hearing this, Guardian? 1 foot back in the reef. Reminds me of adventuring in the Black Garden. Our turning points always seem to come by force. I told you, our prodigal children returning to their father. Can't you hear them calling?
Welcome to the underbelly, Guardians. Crow. As above on the Leviathan, so too nightmares will manifest below. Yours takes the shape of Uldren Sov.
How many failed attempts to do the right thing before you realize our fervor always backfires?
A tinge? And the amplifiers are down, so failing my severance, I made things worse.
These vines wriggle into everything, changing it.
You cut out pieces of yourself until there was nothing left of your humanity.
Damn right I'm bitter. You had everything, and you set it on fire for her!
There is a barrier ahead. This pod's spores will grant you passage. Another trap? I'd keep you at distance. Our mission takes precedence. Amplifier established. Crow will reach his second beacon shortly.
Guardian, went smoother this time. I'll always be balancing on the edge of something terrible. But now I have someone to pull me back.
Your mission remains, but a malicious tinge creeps these halls. Guardian, that's your second amplifier? Good. This isn't a knife fight, Crow. Accept his words. Move through them.
Loyalist welcoming party ahead. Maybe I can find a way around.
Father.
If they attack me, if I have to.
See, you are stronger than your doubts presumed.
Maybe yours.
Are you surprised?
But you're right. I'm scared.
Sure. Outcome's the same, isn't it? She said that? Huh. Turning over a new leaf, I suppose.
Your mission is simple, but nonetheless treacherous. Deal our first cut in severing Calus's connection to the pyramid.
Yes. You've had an overabundance of choice in your life.
That lifted the lockdown, Guardian. Arc energy is being diverted through a nearby conduit.
You enjoyed it. That's the difference. I can learn from your mistakes.
That's the last one. I'm ready when you are, Guardian.
It's why you won't help our sister either. After everything Mara's done for us.
Allow me to open you, mind and body, as mine have been opened. Simply turn back and enjoy what is to come.
Right. You only murder the deserving, like Keitel's scion. You take resurrection for granted. Remember how we begged Mara to save us? To make us awoken as we slipped away from existence?
Do you ever stop talking?
Why did you abandon us?
An uninvited guest slithers through the bowels of my Leviathan.
Yeah. You point out the pitfalls, I'll fill them in. We'll right your wrongs together. See you around, Guardian. Eris. I did it.
He's picking up on some of my old tricks. Starting to aim like me. Certainly certainly not a lost child ricocheting between authority figures. How's your stewardship of him been, Guardian?
You both have a route to the Severance site, and ritual amplifiers to place.
Then let's get to fixing it.
I'm not running. I hadn't found my footing before. This time, I'm ready for you.
The Vanguard. You were supposed to be heir of the Reef. Talk about a step down. Mara must be furious. I empathize with your devotion to a cause, but aren't you tired of this little dance?
Embrace me, and I will share such wonders with the Vanguard that your paltry light could never outshine.
Using your tricks against you sounds good to me. Mara had you wrapped around her finger. Everything I do is because I want to. I told myself a story about who you were. A villain strung together from whispers of the things you'd done. I don't want her help!
Steady.
Fickrel's alone. Hated just like you were.
I'm scared that our nature might make my friends dangerous to me. Or me to them.
My triumphs, too.
No! No! I'm going to enjoy ripping him out of me.
Crow mimics a stoic affectation well enough, but I can tell his nightmare is wearing away at him. The Queen is content that Crow has found his own path.
Lucky Saladin owned it for us, just like Mara always used to. This is what the Traveler made you for. We're killers. Don't shy away from it. You've come so close already. That's why you run. We raised them, gave them a second chance. I thought you were all about second chances.
I'm losing it!
You attempt to halt a cosmic performance that is beyond you. A beauty forged outside of your understanding. Father.
So, Guardian, the Crow wants to be me, or he's afraid he already is? Listen to your handler. Wouldn't want to jeopardize the mission.
You struggle, as I did. A grub fattened on the lies of reality, writhing within a suffocating existence.
I'm ready to finish this.
Please. You'd swallow all those whiny little morals given the right push.
At least I'm not one and done.
Those Elixni deserve to rest in peace. What you did to them, I would never.
Sorry I let you down.
Who?
It will only hasten your revelation.
It's the right thing to do. I have to.
But the silken walls of that cocoon are not a grave, little grub. They are petals, waiting to bloom.
We all have parts we wish weren't there. But acknowledging them can make us stronger.
The interference appears to be echoed by the phantoms that haunt the Leviathan's halls. It is spreading.
You.
Soon, you will emerge to see the magnanimous arc of eternity unfurl before you, its story laid bare. So, resist if you must, It is in your nature to defy, even against your own best interests.
A dreadful blade manifests from the Harvester.
You can help him, but you just don't. Because it's one more step towards me.
Funny. Where did those scorn come from?
Languish in your miserable limbo of a life? The scorn will drag you into mine eventually. Ow! Is this why you pushed so hard to remember me, little bird? So you could burn Aldrin at the stake and prove your independence?
Sounds like we both hit resistance, Guardian.
We'll see. Our legacy is calling.
I can't imagine seeing a stranger with my sibling's face. Is there a third option? But finding out that someone isn't who you thought they were? I understand that. I don't kill unless I have to. Put it to rest, Guardian.
And that's the door. Keep up, Aldrin.
I doubt they had as much trouble as you. I've seen them work. If you're awfully bitter. You rose out of those ashes. A guardian. Noble. Admired. Even by her.
I can feel you there, Lightbearer. Our last encounter was hostile. I forgive you. You will understand what I understand. Our end is set. All that remains is the drama of our strife, the struggle to push open our walls.
Eris, what do I do?
A lot of attitude for somebody who broke down crying last time we were here. Will your aim stay steady when the scorn call you father?
I'm ready to finish this.
Obviously, it's your entire life. Try. I'll just burrow back in, over and over until I'm all you have.
A dreadful blade manifests from the Harvester. Security lockdown lifted across all nearby bulkheads. You are clear to proceed.
Isn't it magnificent? The Leviathan was once my prison, but now we are one body. Its systems, my mind.
Strange. As the underbelly succumbs to this transformation, it has begun to elicit a constant subsonic frequency. This frequency you isolated, it's almost like a voice, muddled in the dissonant churn between Pyramid and Leviathan. Mechanical function is compromised, Guardian. It's harmless. Don't let him stall you.
Fire team, come in.
That is unclear. I'm sorry.
I knew when to let go, when to wash the blood from my hands. Do you?
We proceed as you wish, Commander. But whatever you hear, you must press forward.
You chose to move when you could have stayed.
Go on ahead, Di. I'll find my own way. For a long time.
Strength, Zavala. See through your guilt.
It is that simple.
Through the pyramid, yes. It is breaking the Leviathan's bones to reset them elsewhere.
It's not that simple.
I mourned I've begged for your forgiveness. What more can I do?
The phantoms trapped in this fetid hull sustain something that is growing. Enough. Guardian, bring the commander back before any more damage is done.
Guardians stand for more than the Traveler. We make our own fate.
This new life dishonors your old one. It dishonors your son. I see your new protege, Zavala.
Eris, what happens to her if we succeed?
Stay with me a little longer. Life moved on around us, but we can wait here for a moment.
I knew him before he was your commander, when he was young and boastful.
Safi,
When it leaves you too, will you become like the Fallen?
Set your amplifiers. Sever Calus's connection. And tread carefully.
My sons, Calus, should meet.
The House of Devils is gone.
Zavala sees Hakim's face in these phantoms, and in you, Guardian.
I try to remember him exactly as he was. I try...
A hollow man leading others to die. For a silent god.
This construct is coded in the same spores found aboard the Glycon. Ikora says they could connect consciousness through the darkness.
I am.
Zavala should be commended. It is not easy to forgive one's own regrets.
The brave Zavala holds his offering in clenched fingers, afraid to lose the pain he has kept close for so long. What good did it do? No ghosts found us. Instead, the Traveler gave the light to your enemies.
Focus, Zavala.
Guardian, how can you trust Zavala when he keeps secret the life he led before the city?
I'll set this amplifier, Guardian, and meet you ahead.
Zavala's nightmare is a part of it, but each amplifier further isolates her presence from Calus's hold.
You can only apologize for something that is your fault.
I wouldn't dream of it. It is a unique delight to feel the Leviathan's inhabitants wriggling through my innards.
He still carries blame. We cannot proceed until he finds forgiveness.
And that is only a taste of my generosity. A taste that extends to you as well.
I must be seeing things. The Scorn are wearing... Impossible.
Your true family wouldn't torment you. This is your grief, Zavala.
I wonder, have you told them what became of the last warrior you trained?
It doesn't matter how I feel.
Your hands are pressed against a wound to staunch bleeding. It spills through your fingers. You are soaked in it.
The second severance is at hand.
And I am alone. But that is not my purpose. Let me rest. It is why you left us both to die alone.
All amplifiers broadcasting. Isolation complete. Now there's only the severance. Amplifier online. I'm detecting the commanders as well.
I was ambushed by Scorn and... a horror I couldn't bring down. The Traveler is not my god.
So he is not so different from your god. From the god of our son's murderers. You killed him, as much as the Fallen did. You wove your gallantry into his bones. My husband is not a liar, and I am speaking his words. He knows what he is.
I'm glad it was you standing with me.
Bring him to me instead.
You hoard our memory like a starving animal hoards bones, and call that reverence.
I couldn't reach you.
My love is still afraid to let me go. The Traveler called you all from your graves to be broken over and over again. An endless sacrifice.
Understood. Thank you, Eris.
That is why you will fail. You put your duty before your heart.
I will shower him with my blessings. Give him the power to see his love returned. He may keep her as long as he wishes.
As we learned with Crow, these devices will help. But our success hinges on resolving Zavala's inner demons. Zavala is ready, Guardian. See to your side of things, and we will prevail.
I wish I could step back into that life. Or that you could step into mine.
Caress every dark reach you can find. In your futile journey, you will come to see things my way. You will lay down your arms and stay.
You teach me to heal again. We'd watch our scars fade together.
How many pawns has the Traveler sacrificed to conscript Commander Zavala into its service?
A dreadful blade manifests from the Harvester.
Don't let up, Guardian. Be brave.
Don't. You have made your choice. Why do you leave our names unspoken? Do the memories of that time pain you so much?
I'm not doing this for the Traveler. I'm doing it for you.
That's not fair.
Eternity is what I offer. Consideration is all I ask.
The lockdown is lifted. Prepare yourself for whatever we've unleashed.
Hakim.
Analyzing the whims of a silent god? You'll mold those thoughts over into dust. There's not always an answer. Let go and rest. Stood at our graves, cried out in prayer to your Traveler.
Yesterday I was too tired to rest. Today, Safi, Hakim, I'll find you in my dreams.
It's all I have left.
We used to sit together, listening to the cicadas. He listens to them sometimes still.
Don't use him like that. I chose you. I tried to give it away. Guardian.
Forgiveness? You shared meals with fallen behind your walls after what they took.
You've reached the Severance site, Commander. The Guardian is closing on your position.
To continue chasing pain when you could slumber in euphoria everlasting. That is a foolish endeavor, Guardian.
Was Hakim's death a breakage to reset you under the Traveler's watch? Am I the weakness you carry forever? Never peace.
Guardian.
I want to see him. I close my eyes, but they're only flashes.
That abandoner deserves your duty more than me, more than our son.
And when you do battle across my steely flesh, an unmatched sensation.
They remind me of what I lost. Is Calus doing this to the ship?
He is shaken. Zavala, tell them you are afraid. Confide in them. Why hide your feelings?
We can remember why we lived our life without hating why we lost it. You've given me a lot to consider. About where I put my faith.
Think of your commander.
Hakim wouldn't want to see you mourn. He'd want his father to be proud of his courage, as I am proud of yours.
For I am benevolent.
I hate my son's murderers, the god they followed, that it has taken you too.
Your eyes deceive you. Don't be fooled. It's resonating through phantom and nightmare alike, manipulating their psychic connection to the darkness. It must end.
On that night, I'll raise a chalice to your lips, and we will feast.
This mission won't bring you the peace you desire. Your devotion to the Traveler rewards you only with war and death.
We cannot do this for him, but we can stand with him.
You say you mourn our deaths, Zavala.
Suffy? There's so much. The years have made apologies lose their meaning. But I am sorry.
She's slipping away from me!
It is said broken bones heal stronger than before, but this is a lie. They are forever weakened. Live with your decisions. That and duty are all you have to hold close.
We are with you. Is that so?
I've reached the site, preparing the harvester.
What would I do with this broken man you've become? Speak our names. Release us.
Hakim should know his father feels nothing but pride. That's why I trusted him to protect you.
Final amplifier set.
I see his face too. Anemic and choked. Fear and pain I cannot stop. Then nothing.
Forgive me.
Another thread frays between Pyramid and Leviathan, Guardian. And yet I feel the next will test us most of all.
Transmat incoming. Your runner is under fire. Spark available. Enemy rift ignited. Your ally has the spark. Enemy runner is close. Enemy has the spark. Stop them. Swiftly now, you're near the rift. Run! You brought their runner low. This match is over. But defeat will not define you. The spark is charging. You took down their spark runner, and not a moment too soon. That was close. Keep an eye on that spark. The spark has arrived. Enemy runner approaching your rift. Your team is pressing the attack. Ignite the rift with the spark. Sear your foes. Don't despair. You can go all the way next time. Excellent save. You do your team proud with defense like that. Your team no longer has the spark. Runner out. Press the attack. Overtime. Run like victory depends on it. Spark available. Multi-spark. Fight to the finish. The enemy is attacking your runner. Stop them. The spark is yours. Ignite the rift. Spark after spark. Victory was inevitable. You hold the spark as Acreus held the sun. Overtime. Ignite the rift. 2 additional sparks. No time left. Let's see how you fare. Defend your runner before it's too late. Capture the spark and carry it to the rift. Defend your runner. Enemy rift ignited. Close enough to taste the smoke. Your team has ignited the rift. That runner was nearly there. Watch their back next time. Runner defeated. Runner defeated. More sparks available. Don't let this opportunity slip. Enemy runner active. Shut them down. Runner defeated. Your pride is singed. There will be more opportunities to prove yourself. Enemy runner closing in. Enemy runner stopped. Keep them struggling. The Cabal have a term for such a display. Uro ok nur. You don't want to know what it translates to. You have taken the spark. The rift calls to you. There's the enemy runner. Take them out. Your enemy delivered the spark. There is more within you than this outcome suggests. You're in overtime. Make those extra sparks yours. Within a hair's breadth. You'll get there next time. Charging the spark. You stop that runner. Good. Overtime. Halt their advance. You're in overtime. Make it count. Spark runner down. A close call. Allied runner approaching the rift. Spark available. Transmat incoming. Run! Stopped in your tracks. You are the runner. Be swift. You're out of the wolves' den for now. Pick up another spark. Try again. Run! An enemy runner ignited your rift. Don't let another slip by. Claim the spark. Deliver it to the rift. Crush your opponents. Enemy runner near. Stop them. Let this defeat ignite your resolve. The spark is ready. Seize it. This is it. Ignite the final spark. You have control of the spark. Overtime. Don't let victory slip from your fingers. A tie. We can't have that. More sparks are available. Merely a setback. Make them regret it. Enemy runner is close. You tore through the place like a war beast on the hunt. Back to your bases, all of you. Enemy runners stopped in their tracks. Your runner is advancing. They have defeated your spark runner. The rift burns, all thanks to you. Transmat incoming. Can you smell it? Sweet incineration. Rift. Your runner is moving in. Enemy rift ignited. Rift ignited. This blaze is thanks to you. Enemy rift ablaze. Overtime. Run the spark. You'll have it next time, surely. Your team has found the enemy runner. This spark is your last. Don't let them take it. Your runner is advancing. They bested you. Show them what you think of that. Enemy runner closing in. Well played. Only a fool would oppose you. Spark runner down. Your runner is moving in. Last chance. Bring it home. Another rift ignited. Keep them coming. A classic victory. Wear this one with pride. Enemy runner shut down. Your runner nearly had an ignition. Nearly. The rift is yours. Get there. You've gone into overtime. Hold nothing back. Runner down. You must defend them. A thrilling match. And a worthy conclusion. Overtime. Finish it. Resetting. Time for a transmat. Like a well-placed drop pod. You crushed them. Excellent save. Enemy runner sighted. Enemy runner halted. The enemy has ignited your rift. Let nothing stop you. Stop the enemy runner. Your enemy holds the spark.
We have both felt it. How a moment of pain can weave into the whole of our lives. How it binds us to patterns of thought and action.
I don't feel like I've won any battles. I just feel tired and old.
Our scouts confirm your reports of psychic anomalies emanating from the red phantoms seen throughout the ship. You will address me as Empress.
Eris told me what happened. How are you? It's hard to challenge your idols. Even harder to make the decision that you'll be different.
Very well. Prepare your ritual.
You told me to live my life. There is more truth in you than either of us would care to admit. I have something that will be of interest to you. The lunar pyramid remains rife with secrets. Meet with me, and we will discuss what I have found.
Darkness.
I'll never know Gaul as you did. But I know you, Keitel. I see you.
Amanda, I am your friend. It repulses me how much I still feel for them both, in spite of everything they became.
I can't imagine it was easy. That confrontation after all this time. Mine wasn't, my son.
Per our arrangement, I am delivering a status report on the Imperial survey of the Leviathan.
Those haunted here have found a measure of peace. But it takes more than resolve to overcome one's regrets. But I might allow myself to want more than peace. What? I am not certain. Is joy the word? Might I find that again?
Yeah. Pretty tore up inside. Any little thing sets me off. How long have you known who you were?
Morn, would your ritual have prevented my failure?
Feels like I'm held together by duct tape and spit lately.
But do you feel like a legend, Keitel?
You speak Gaul's words. They erode the truth. What is your nightmare? An expectation you must shed like dead skin. I offered you my support. That offer remains. Know that this failure does not define you, Kaido. No, you are a woman with a burden, as I was.
As I told your crow once, battles fought in the theater of the mind and heart are just as brutal as ones fought with flesh and bone. They operate as an extension of my father's will. We all bear our scars, victories, defeats, some openly with pride, some others hidden away beneath layers of shameful armor.
I have stared into the eyes of my pain made manifest, pleaded with it, raged at it. What face would your nightmare wear?
Do you revel in your foresight? Do you delight in witnessing my shame? I do not know. When it emerged from this state, most of its crew were missing, and an infestation of unknown fungal matter had infiltrated all decks of the ship.
I was scared. I am scared. People used to kill me for something I didn't.
Might have said some hurtful stuff to somebody who didn't deserve it.
This is not a formal communication. This is a private reckoning. One warrior to another. I am the Cabal.
For so long I believed peace was beyond my reach. No more. I have found it in guiding others down the same path that saved me. Now you seek the counsel of a hive-tainted witch. Whatever reckless plan brings you to the reef need not be shared with the Vanguard or the Guardian, but keep me informed at the very least.
Someday. Not today. Not yet.
There is no quarter for failure. There can be no such distinction. Torobatl lies in ashes. From my ranks rise traitors and spies. My incompetence threatens the future of my people.
What will remain when you do so?
I will break you in half, small man. That is all anyone can ask for. To be seen as they are.
My wife.
At Vallis Forge's suggestion, I have submitted a recommendation for Crow to participate in a joint investigation to supplement our own.
I can't. It's not... Amanda?
We are attempting to determine their location.
Hey, Commander. How you holding up?
It is my hope that together we can tear into the beating heart of the Leviathan and drag my father screaming into the light of your sun.
I fought countless battles where my life was on the line. Won and lost them. Nothing like this. Never as hard.
Then you must look past your shame and say, I am more. It awaits.
We need to talk.
Conquering one's demons is a noble task. There are many stories of Cabal heroes who did the same. Now, they live forever, as legends.
Wait.
Too late. Even we have stories about the great Commander Zavala. Only we do not call him that. Navigational equipment shows that the Leviathan entered a gravitational anomaly and...
Take care, Rat.
How long did you know?
I received your last message.
I know what Ghoul is to your people. A symbol of death and ruthless ambition. But he was so much more than that to me.
You don't understand!
I was blinded by the light of his accomplishments. Unable to see the man inside. Unable to see his self-aggrandizing corruption. I refused to believe he was as much like my father as he was.
I can't remember Hakim's voice either. I try so hard.
It was at once within and outside of the known universe for an indeterminate period of time. Command structure appears to have broken down. Loyalists who emerged from the anomaly disembarked from the Leviathan. Those currently aboard are newly grown, combat-ready clones that have no higher brain function.
You are not a crown. You do this for yourself, not for the Cabal.
You are not mistaken.
I see.
And yet, you still stand.
I've been better. Sounds like you have too.
I cared about you, and you lied to me. You wore that mask. You kept secrets from me, pretended to be my friend.
I don't want to be a legend, Kettle.
No, you're not. I had a friend, and you murdered him. It's never a good time. I've been trying to talk to you for weeks, and you keep dodging me. Yeah.
Tired and old. He was an idol. An inspiration to all Cabal. Even though he was born to a low station, he rose. How he rose. Until such a time, we are Cabal, we eat the mountains, we drink the seas.
Did you need something, Empress?
Scion Opti theorized that these phantoms are manifestations forged from a psychic background radiation permeating the Leviathan.
I know that kind of hurt. Other way around, though. I still think about my folks, but I can't really remember their voices anymore. We're done. We're done here. I do not have time for this, for you, for anything.
We've all been at our worst. When we're hurt, when we're afraid. We all fall apart. I'd like that. Thank you, Amanda.
Ain't nothing. It's what family does.
But then you look back on your life, your own mistakes, and you wonder how you'll be judged when all is said and done.
Want some company down in your office anyway? We don't have to talk. Maybe we just sit.
This battle was the most honest of your risen life. You won.
The last few weeks have opened up some old wounds. Reminded me of important people I've lost.
This is not a good time.
You want to tell me about him? Your wife?
Alas, you have always been stubborn. So, if you insist on being devoured, until our next reunion, Guardian. No, for I am magnanimous, generous, forgiving. And so, I grant you yet another gift. One last chance at salvation. Time and again, you have moved me to applause. And have I ever withheld your gilded reward? The witness in all its glory has set its covetous gaze upon your traveler. You cannot stop it. You never cease to entertain me, little guardians. Then I will savor your final moments. Light burns for only so long, a feeble flame, easily extinguished. But you need not share that fate. I invite you to instead join me in revelry and embrace the inevitable.
Here, listen closely. Whispers and confessions as I have heard them. He would tell it differently. But memory clings so loosely to the truth. I will share what I know. Zavala will not speak to you of his regrets. But I will not let him bear them alone. Echoes once dissonant, exhumed, find harmony in binding flesh.
My memory, from one life to the next.
My armor is protection enough.
I will lead the charge. You need only follow. Eris!
I can bind these nightmares to us, grant us safe passage through the ship. I know what I'm asking you to confront.
Do you?
Now, tithe your weights to the crown. No matter what happens, do not break the circle. Song of Sothona, your words are mine to command. Bolog, Ayat. This will anchor our offerings. They wear familiar faces and speak with familiar voices. Chords plucked in authored throats find chorus. The rules have bent around us. We must also bend.
Madness. Your witchcraft plays right into my father's hands. Find someone else for your ritual.
It burdens. It burdens. It burdens until the choir relents, accepting. Ayat.
Remember your last advisor, Zavala. You trust this one's judgment?
Your regrets will follow you, Empress. Let me offer protection. The lunar pyramid stirs to the Leviathan's call. It manifests our deepest regrets.
Hive magic. You would doom us all.
My heart, from a time long past.
We are bound.
What manner of empire would I lead if your soldiers were not afforded the same protection as my own?
This scythe burns with the power of your will. Use it to shatter the nightmare's defenses.
Too well. I wonder sometimes, if I promised her to you, would there have ever been a coup?
It is time. Light and dark align, turning into a burning recollection of terror. Seize that power and become a reaper of nightmares.
You saved him. Saved him from me.
The smallest spark can ignite an inferno. The Red Legion might never have come to this system had you stayed away from our forward bases.
That is all gone now. Likely overrun with hive chitin and rotten fungus. The same as this accursed ship.
And so it rises to a call, a malevolent force of terror. Go. Show it you know no fear.
You don't know the first thing about fatherhood.
I don't think any of us can claim to know what the Traveler thinks. Not anymore.
I once said that Lightbearers were more than instruments of violence.
Light and dark forged together into a physical manifestation of terror. Go forth and be the Reaper.
I'll show you.
You stepped hide the bodies of our enemies to build your city's walls.
You have drawn out a powerful nightmare. See that it is destroyed. Stand strong, Guardian. I sense a powerful nightmare rising from the depths of the Leviathan. It comes. Those stories are mine to share.
I will when she earns it.
No, Thank you, Cuddle. I'm sorry.
I know only that you claimed your strength through great hardship. and greater ferocity.
You see how Zavala strains not to buckle beneath it.
I lost so much more than that.
I know I did.
You're not to blame, Saladin. I buried my grief, as you did after the Iron Lords fell. We both know better now.
Eris, what's the status on the Leviathan?
Knitting needles. Do the Cabal not practice a similar craft?
Ask.
Like I owe him money. He's extremely persistent.
Magnificent.
You are a warrior. Your true identity is only known to your enemies in the split second before their deaths. This is your truth.
Please, don't.
Humanity and the Cabal fighting side by side. Ah, daughter, work with the mighty Dominus Gaul say.
The night you returned to the temple, there was much I left unsaid.
I don't skulk. What do you want, Eris?
Maybe I've never been more than an instrument of violence. But sometimes I wish I was more than that.
This is a waste of your time. Go home. Our sister needs us. You.
She's reached out, but I haven't had the time.
Nightmares rise, and the harvester stirs to life, yearning for their pain.
Yes. I believe I am. Facing the past wasn't easy. But in the end, it was worth it.
That is where your similarities end. I have seen her lead with purpose and conviction. More than can be said of you.
Her title is Empress. Call your superior what she is.
Enough! Surrender! Death will be quick.
I suppose she does. I hope you reconsider the lenses through which you have viewed her. Not all are equal. Do you feel that? They're coming.
Zavala. Keitel told me about Sophia. Are you all right? Humanity has proven time and again that we are more than a match for the Cabal.
Noted.
No.
He will understand. A ghost's bond with their guardian is a profound thing, not to be taken lightly. Or easily forgotten.
Lord Saladin, how long has it been since I first set foot in your camp, my old friend?
Shut up. Shut up!
No apologies, Commander. We need not tend our open wounds alone. If he hopes to earn my favor again, then he must try harder.
That's who we are.
Eris, how did you deal with all this? You had, what, 4 or 5 of these things haunting you? How did you even sleep?
And yet, I've seen Saladin smile. It is a glorious thing.
You know, sometimes, if I curl my finger just so, I can feel the pressure of the trigger, smell the gunpowder, hear Cade's screams.
So, as I hear the tale told, you killed a guardian in another life, without even being a light-bearer.
One of his many sacrifices.
So, Miss Guided, you fight for the wrong side, for the wrong purpose.
I never thought of Zavala as having a life before the Vanguard.
I'm sure he would prefer to be remembered as you knew him. Fearsome and terrifying.
I would rather not trouble him. The Cabal fleet will maintain its position around the Leviathan.
It has always been so. Now that you've learned to see beyond your regrets, perhaps you'll recognize the same pain in others.
There are things you want to say to her, so say them. She will listen.
Nothing is without possibility. We must all exercise caution when dealing with paracausal forces, but I admit, the idea has merit.
I'll speak with you, Empress, but only as an equal.
You couldn't have known that. What did you see? A desperate man, dangerous with grief. I would have pulled the trigger.
You are a member of my war council.
It is as if you two deserve each other.
An empire doomed to ruin. We stand together, Empress.
Yes. It was.
Pathetic.
You didn't teach Guardians to fear. You taught them to overcome it.
We have called a powerful nightmare to us, and the Harvester hungers for its essence.
How did Eris get through this? How did she face her own nightmares on the moon?
So you admit you're ignoring her on purpose? Is it because you're scared of her? Or because you're scared of who you are when you're around her?
Has the Vanguard considered weaponizing the Pyramid's technology?
What if I'm doomed to repeat Uldren's mistakes?
They rise screaming, and they will fall the same. I do not require your thanks. I require you to be stronger than your fears. There, a true nightmare born of so much pain and suffering. End it.
Face to face once again, Commander. Does the city still tremble at my name?
Heavy is the burden of leadership, Empress.
Oh. Thank you.
A powerful nightmare has risen nearby. Find it and destroy it.
Checking in from the helm. How's it going on the ground?
I know you want to see her. I can feel it.
Keitel refused to take part in your hive ritual, did she? At least she maintained some semblance of Cabal pride.
She gave me kindness, comfort, and light. She died so that I could have one last life.
I wonder how Mara is feeling right now, with her baby brother alive and refusing to acknowledge her. What a cruel knife to wield.
I do not sleep.
And how much do you carry on your own?
It's done then. No thanks to your crow.
I serve only one queen. We know this in our heart.
That doesn't sound like a no. I was expecting to be scolded.
Strong memories. Hold them close. They will be needed soon.
Impossible. I took your city. I took your traveler. I took your light. And I taught you fear.
That is not necessary.
She compromises me. Sees through me, into me.
No, Saladin. I made my choice. And now I have to see it through.
I see your struggle. I feel it. You can ask forgiveness of your nightmare, but they will never grant it. Not as they are. Not until you have forgiven yourself.
Your deaths are usually so quick, almost effortless. You rise like a bird, snapping so easily back into flight.
Daughter, do you hear me?
Do you feel that, little bird? The urge to wind your fingers around my throat, to squeeze.
And you would do well to remember I am your superior. Bow to me, the way you do your serpent of a sister. Another rousing success. Tell me, will we ever see you smile again, Zavala?
Go on.
This place...
Even after my death, the remnants of the Red Legion fight in my name. They will never bow to Keitel.
There are deep truths within you which... Did you lose your world?
Have you been seeing your other half? Has he been communicating with you?
Tell me, Keitel, are these guardians not just simple vessels for their light?
And yet you take for granted the protection it offers you and those you love.
There is a difference between fear and respect. You used to know that.
Zavala can elaborate if you so desire. Another nightmare rises, but this one is stronger. Go and extinguish it. Peace, Zavala. The only blame I ever carried was toward myself. And even that has passed.
Is that why you were absent when the Red Legion marched on your city? Were you more than a match for us then?
There was no sacrifice, no bargain or tithe. The only strength I hold is from moving forward when others could not.
Thanks, Commander. I will. But you should probably take your own advice.
You can't coax a smile out of him. I've tried. He's too much like Lord Saladin that way.
I would stay any knife aimed at your throat. Would you have me step aside and let it find its mark?
Do you ever wonder if, just maybe, people are taking advantage of you?
They are more than that. They are born of nothing but ashes, and must rise from them to determine their own destinies by sheer will. Guardian, when he is finished here, tell the Crow I wish to speak with him.
Don't you ever tire of doing other people's busy work, Guardian?
Lord Saladin, we have made some progress in combating the nightmares, but more remains to be done.
Then keep Torobato's memory as you keep mine. And when the time comes, avenge what has been lost.
Eris, your fire team. I sent them into danger. I sent them to their deaths. I know what it's like to hold the line against an unstoppable foe, to fight a battle with no clear path to victory. But this...
What I saw was a broken man, holding a gun to his own heart. He would have sooner killed himself. Who were you before you became a Guardian? Do you remember? Do you ever wonder?
You can lie to me all you want. Do not lie to yourself, even once.
And if Keitel lacks the strength to be the master, then she deserves to be the foe. You call yourself a Guardian, but we both know the truth. You are a weapon, aimed at a foe of your master's choosing. All you have to do is ask.
You wish to cast blame. We were to lead the Cabal as one. We could have conquered the soul system if you had not left me to rot on Tora Bottle.
This brings back memories, does it not? You used to provide such entertainment aboard this vessel.
Crow, when was your last downtime? You've logged a lot of hours this week on patrol. This isn't a game, Calus. The Vanguard tolerated your presence before, but now you've crossed a line.
You are still young, Guardian. Soon, you will understand loss, as Zavala and I do.
So, my daughter has forged an alliance with the Guardians. I see Keitel recognizes your kind's potential, just as I do.
Crow, are you skulking about? This is what the nightmares fear. Your unbridled power. Bring this scythe to bear against the nightmares' defenses. You have arrived at a convergence point of the nightmares drawn to the Leviathan. The Harvester stirs to life in response.
I knew the Vanguard was risking war with the Cabal when we landed on Mars. But we needed to reach the Black Garden no matter what.
It is unsettling by design.
I know what needles are, but what is knitting?
That pride places us all in jeopardy. She would rather we break than bend with the wind.
And do you hear him, too?
Don't.
It rises, a tide of dread cresting. It threatens to drown us all.
Oh, I missed watching you struggle against the odds, Guardian. Now, we even have an audience. So, you acted not out of weakness, but out of fear. You cowered before a foe that defeated a greater warrior.
Oh, or maybe you're just afraid you like it.
Glibness does nothing to help your growth. How are you responding to his goading?
Miss Holiday, what a pleasant surprise. I've wanted so much to meet you.
You were defeated. All trace of you has been wiped away. Your name lingers only as a bad memory.
Does Zavala ever tell you so?
Zavala, those instruments you presented to the Crown, what were they?
And if she is wise, she will listen. End the armistice between humanity and the Cabal. It is an affront against everything that we are.
The Harvester hungers, and its thirst will not be denied.
It's good to feel whole again. I just hope Glint gets along with the new me.
Bring this manifestation of your power to bear against the nightmares. They cannot defend against it.
Kinda like this.
Do you use them to prove your loyalty, Zavala? How many Guardians have you sacrificed to show your faith? And you said that if you could not defend the defenseless, then why have a camp at all? It seems he took that to heart, Rest.
I have a message for your commander. Tell him not to fall to temptation as I did.
Are you sure it's a victory for your crow to accept his past? Was the Prince of the Awoken not the origin of much suffering for your people?
Light bearers spill blood without any thought to how much they have in their own bodies.
The Harvester stirs, hungering for the pain of what was lost.
You fight well, Guardian.
Eris, you lost your ghost, didn't you? If anything ever happened to Glint,
I understand the compulsion to. The Awoken Queen is a complex woman. She often pushes people to, and regrettably, past their limits.
heart's in the right place. But we're all under a significant strain. You need to be at the top of your ability. Take a break.
You would not have hurt him, Zarana. It would have only been more death.
His debt is settled. Saladin saw to that.
For the longest time, I thought I was the only one haunted by my past. Turns out everyone has a skeleton or two in their closet.
The way he laid there, reached out for his ghost and begged. Like those little shards were going to help him.
Longer than I care to recount, I remember how Zavala urged me to turn you away. He didn't think refugees belonged there.
It is their parting gift to us. We must cherish it, as much as we cherish our time with them. They come screaming from the depths of our collective pain. Destroy them.
I remember Toro Battle.
Noted.
Well said. May your death be glorious, Saladin Forge. Valis Forge. Do not think yourself our equal light spawn. You are a war beast, begging for scraps at that table.
You have only just begun to discover what you are capable of.
Turning the pyramid against the witness. Is that even possible?
He wished it that way. He could not be seen as a father, a husband, or a man. Only as your commander.
I suppose they can. Perhaps in that there is hope for us all.
No. Then what about you, Commander? What is it that you desire most in the world?
This is different. And I don't know what to do.
Nothing. He's dead.
This trinket of yours fascinates me. I would have it for myself. Dead, but not gone. Never gone. In the hearts of our people, I am eternal. I wonder what that says about your convictions. Lines exist to be crossed, Commander Zavala. Where have you drawn yours?
I was surprised to see Gaul as your friend.
Then you have much to learn about me.
Easier said than done.
In time, you will be able to help them as I have. Yours is a compassionate soul, Crow.
Our enemies wield our love like daggers. Protect your hearts.
As you wish.
That is not the way.
I dealt with my demons by confronting them head-on. The words they are saying are your personal truths.
Offering the light spawn a seat on your council showed weakness, Keitel. You should have brought them to heel.
Press on, Guardian.
She's not my sister. I'm not doing this to spite her.
Zavala, I heard a voice over comms earlier. Was that?
Reap the essences of these nightmares and try to draw out more powerful manifestations. I will guide you as best I can.
Are you sure you want to do this? You could take a step back, let me shoulder some of the burden.
You cheer the loudest, Keitel.
But I'm happy you saw him as I did. The finest mentor I ever knew.
We're both royalty, after all. You would do well to remember that.
It is fortunate for us, then, that he did.
Were you not the one who so fervently slaughtered her soldiers when they first arrived, Lord Saladin?
The nightmares are converging on your location. Begin the harvest.
I feel like a stranger in my own skin. Does my ghost even recognize me as the man he raised?
Yes. Briar. Her name was Briar. And she was my first friend.
That is the power of legacy. The Iron Lords who fought beside me are with me still. I light their braziers every night.
So you provoked one enemy to avoid annihilation by another. Much like Keitel when she brought her fleet to Earth.
You are a leader for those who need to be led. A champion for those who cannot be one. You are enough.
Glint is my tether in an endless storm. I can't imagine your loss. I'm sorry.
He can be hard to read, I know. So stoic. So distant. Like his god.
Until I no longer had a voice.
So long as I remember them, they are never truly gone. One day, I too will fall, and someone else will tend my flame.
Do you even remember the last time you felt it leave you?
Spoken like one who does not know the value of life.
I would prefer not to talk about this, Empress.
We'll never know. The light obliterated you before I could arrive.
Begone, you facile caricature. Your lies have no power here.
One would hope that your bloodlust can serve as an example for Keitel. A reminder of how a true warrior acts.
Please. Such a feat requires cunning and strength that only the mightiest of Cabal have ever achieved. Surely the Traveler saw this.
She does. But without the light, I have felt them squirm beneath my boot. They are nothing. She's quicker than an assassin's blade, and her stomach made of stronger stuff than your poisons. I trained her well.
I sense a current of dread. A powerful nightmare has risen near you.
As it should be. Better to die true to one's nature than to deny it for the sake of survival.
Every guardian lost under my command is my responsibility. What am I, if I am unable to bear that fact?
Be quiet, you dead-eyed creature. I will not let you speak to him so.
Be silent! You are small. Weak like the Princess Imperial.
Do you remember, Zavala? The night we buried Hakim. The gun in your hand, the moon at your back, and your ghost.
Your light has guided you back to yourself. You're now both pauper and prince. A new nightmare rises, but do not fear. Destroy it as you have the others.
Still, I suppose there is time for her to come around. I am her father, after all.
Yes. I remember how swiftly you dispatched your enemies in the gladiator pits. One clean cut, your blade held aloft. How the crowds would cheer.
Doubt and shame would have you believe that. But it is a lie we tell ourselves when we are afraid of doing the hard work of change. Do not fear.
Zavala discourages you from asking those questions. He thinks a Guardian's past can be a liability.
What do you hope to accomplish, Guardian? You fight incessantly, like a rabid beast in search of its next kill.
The nightmares awaken, and so you become an eater of fear.
The blockade holds. Nothing in, nothing out. Your forces guard the helm as if it were part of their fleet. I suppose I taught him well.
The Guardian can't be bought.
Crow, now that you know your personal truth, do you correspond with your sister?
Valis Forge, how fares our defensive perimeter around the Leviathan?
You two must be fun at parties.
I do.
Someone should teach you pain, Guardian. Be humble.
She and I both understand that sometimes war is the only option. That doesn't make it a good one.
All clear.
And I have felt them at my side, ready to lend their strength if my blade arm tires. Fearless.
I could have done it nice and quick. But, well, you know. Don't you?
But I watched this one work, and I remember that violence can be a useful tool.
He was. But Crow is still his own person. Even if he remembers the burden of his past misdeeds. People can change.
My Leviathan will not so easily bend to your will. You could have inherited my throne instead of taking it. How the crowds would take to the streets in celebration of the Empire's victories, cheering until the sun rose above the city.
No, I can feel. There are presences here. Old ones. I can smell lilies. Antiseptic. Familiar hair and skin. But when I chase it, it all turns to smoke.
Well done.
You style yourself Empress. Empress of what? A dead world. The traitors and spies that survived your incompetence.
He holds all of humanity on his shoulders.
They are your thoughts, fears, and nightmares brought to life. That nightmare is no more Uldren Sov than you are.
I understand that you want to make up for what happened to Saladin, but burning yourself out isn't the answer.
Eris Morn, the others do not speak openly of your past.
One by one, I destroyed those who cast me into exile, and yet my daughter still lives.
Now why do you suppose that is? Perhaps you should ask him.
When I close my eyes, I can still see the mountains and the seas, the lush jungles where wild war beasts hunted in packs.
How disappointing that Kaito still fails to see reason, to accept the truth I have offered her. Violence is all there is.
As you did, before they retook their city and you burned in their traveler's light.
Did you think it would be that simple?
Dead. Safi.
Don't.
Where is Calus?
He has given himself over to the witness. My father is gone.
I see now. Their lives were forfeit, spent as a cost to ferry Calus's mind across a vast distance and hasten ingress to the Pyramid Guardian. Calus's loyalists. Egregore spores line their esophagus. They are freshly dead. Empty. Our foe is desperate. But that means our plan is working. I must speak with Keitel. Return to me. This nightmare is quelled. Buried in the screams of its death throes lies a call to the pyramid. Calus must have used the relic in this place as a focusing point in lieu of the connections we've severed.
I was convinced that seeing her might make things easier, that her absence cuts deeper than her presence. A hollow man, leading others to die. For a silent god. Is that what I've become? Have the years whittled away my nerve? Go and see Eris. I'll tell her you're coming. She'll know what to say. But they are equally sharp. Sophia. She wants me to speak her name. To confide my feelings in you. What good does it do?
Come to tell me it's not my fault? Hey, Guardian. I know this is on me. We're exactly the same. Down to the instincts. It's in my blood. I thought I could do this. I thought I could prove to Zavala and Keitel and you and everyone else that I was better than him. When I got my memories back, I remembered Uldren did the same thing. Nothing hurtful, just a few stories to keep a comfortable distance from the truth. To fill in the blanks, but lies, they only get us so far, you know. When I first came to the city, I told these little lies about who I was or where I came from. He started little rumors, recounted adventures to an audience, planted gossip in Mara's ear just to watch those stories spread. You don't have to feed me any comforting platitudes. I've been running from the truth for long enough. Second chances. Turns out I've been using mine wrong to remake something dead and gone into something beautiful. But it's clear now. This is what the Traveler chose me for. I was reforged in the light for a purpose, to learn how to forge something new from what we were. And I can't replace Cade. But I can cover his old patrols, maybe organize the hunters a bit, if they'll let me. Everything Uldren did to the reef, the Scorn, Fickrel. I have a responsibility. No. A calling to make them whole, clean up some of my mess. I thought being a guardian was my destiny, that wielding the light for good was the most I had to offer. I don't know if I can fix everything Uldren left broken, but I can try.
Do not interfere, Guardian. I am Cabal, and this conquest is mine to claim. I have been patient. I have listened to your warnings and kept my landing parties from raiding the Leviathan. Gaul, I challenge you. In the depths of my father's tomb, we do battle. But still, Calus eludes your guardians, and the nightmare of Gaul continues to hang over my head. My patience has its limits. Your ritual only requires I defeat the Dominus's nightmare. So be it. Gaul is the last, our only remaining opposition. Then Calus cannot hide. There must be a proving, an acceptance from the old ways. So, as a gladiator entering an arena, I issue my challenge. Dominus, are you listening? I aim to finish what we began all those years ago. You won't stop me. Attention, Vanguard. But the Leviathan's trickeries allowed me to see Gaul as the Vanguard did. Dangerous, relentless, cruel. Well fought, Guardian. They kindled in me a stifling reliance on self, on action, and nothing else. The Dominus was a hero to my people, self-made and defiant. He inspired many. Instead, it will be the quiet of peace, in the company of allies. It is strange what we are to those around us, and what we are not. Those were qualities I embodied to survive Calus's interpretation of fatherhood. But an endless war in pursuit of glory leaves only ashes. Most of all, Cabal wished to be seen. Our conquests recognized and ratified by the shockwaves they send through the Empire. The impact we leave. When I am gone, it won't be the impact of my conquests that shape the Empire.
Have I made the right choices? I don't regret all the good the city has done, or that I was a part of it. But what it took to get here, what it's taken to keep it, I did everything I could to save Hakim. I can accept that now. But back then, Sophia knew that. She understood that losing him only pushed me further toward being a guardian. After everything we faced aboard the Leviathan, I'm left to wonder. She knew that I couldn't stand by and watch the world burn. Because in her own way, neither could she. When is enough? Enough. Guilt, like gravity, warps our perception of what is real. When I first saw Sophia return as a nightmare, I was afraid. I didn't want her to reveal what I'd done. His death carved out a place in me. And everyone I lose under my command only compounds that feeling. Like so many other things, we have a word for eternity, without the capacity to comprehend what it actually means. Maybe it's time to let go. Our minds weren't meant for this many years.
Return to the Leviathan. Gather the reagents we need to perform one last ritual, and perhaps, just perhaps, we will be able to prevent disaster. And yet, I find myself unable to enjoy this success. It has come too easily. It is no mere curiosity that drew him to the lunar pyramid. He is a consciousness that spreads out like a vascular system. Resume your patrols aboard the Leviathan, Guardian, and I will see what can be done elsewhere. You must return to the Leviathan, Guardian. Continue your work there while I prepare a ritual to add the Empress to our bond. But there is a silver lining to this cloud. The information you retrieved on the moon has proven to be the final piece of Calus's puzzle. What we see here and aboard the Leviathan is that theory put into practice. For now, return to the Leviathan and seek out concentrations of these new nightmares. Destroy them and bind them to the crown. Calus has become an emissary of the Witness. He is the harbinger of the second collapse. But the process to convert these psychic constructs will not be an easy one. It is a battle Guardians are not accustomed to fighting. With change comes opportunity. In studying this memory of Aldrin Sov, a truer nature of the nightmares is revealed. It is the beginning of the end. It appears the situation is far more complex than I first believed. In this success, we have discovered the key to our victory. We project our shame on these nightmares and make them real, but they are not inherently evil, no more than the darkness itself is. I have long said that the darkness can be used as a power for good, even when others doubted. The Leviathan's corruption spreads like a plague. Even as we succeed, Calus's influence strengthens. But even those efforts may be for naught. We have reached the point of no return. The witness is near. For now, continue your exploration of the Leviathan. Any piece of information, no matter how small, could change everything.
We can stop Calus dead in his tracks before he causes any more damage.
A manifestation of healed trauma, a memory of the man Crow once was. The best of him. Go to the Leviathan and harvest the necessary essence of the nightmares. We must enact the next ritual of severance before it is too late. They are forged from the darkness and born of your own subconscious fears, desires, and regrets. They have only as much power as you give them. I will contact you soon.
I will be accompanying your next severance mission to weaken Calus's connection to the pyramid. You and I will get this done.
Calus is overconfident, and we must take advantage. Go, return to the Leviathan, and prepare. The pyramid did so as a security system, driving away those who would tamper with it. But what is happening on the Leviathan? This is purposeful, malicious. Zavala only knows grief. But perhaps there is hope in others, in the council of friends and family. There is no running from his truth any longer. Rejoice. Only one connection remains to the lunar pyramid, and Calus has barely reacted. There is a piece of his agenda that we cannot yet see. I know it. I cannot help but feel as though we have not weathered the storm, but merely stepped into its eye. It will do everything in its power to stop you. Be wary. He haunts her relentlessly, as Aldrin haunted Crow, as Sophia haunted Zavala. But Kaido was not bound with us. There is no certainty a ritual would succeed. The Crown of Sorrow was once forged by Savathun's hand, designed as a psychic prison, binding the mind of its bearer to her will. It is as I feared. We were too late. It is done. We are inexorably bound to the power of this hive artifact, and to one another. It is done. Another of Calus's connections to the lunar pyramid is severed. We are poised to strike the final blow. Now it serves a new witch. The past is laid bare, and so too the commander's heart. Resume your work aboard the Leviathan, Guardian, and I will prepare for the next severance ritual. Crow was unprepared to face his own demons when we attempted to sever it. And though I may be able to counsel him through the next confrontation, that will take time. There is a misconception among the Vanguard that nightmares are like spirits, that they are who they appear to be. This is untrue. But this feels different. If Calus's experiments in communing with the darkness aboard the Glycon was a theory, worse, it appears as though Calus is not doing so of his own volition. He is doing it at the behest of another, our true enemy. The voice in the darkness. The witness. For all we know, this was Calus's plan from the beginning, luring guardians to his side with promises of riches and lavishing them with praise. The nightmares contained within the crown of sorrow are seething. Victory sits before us, and yet it feels strangely hollow. We have severed what should be the final connection to the pyramid, and yet the nightmares only increase in number, and soon I fear they will overflow from the Leviathan and spread across the system. As time progresses, Calus's hold on the lunar pyramid grows in strength. For each connection we have severed, the remaining grows stronger. Keitel has been brought into our ritual bond. She is now prepared to confront the nightmare of Gaul and undo her father's work. As I warned Zavala, nightmares wear familiar faces and speak with familiar voices. They manifest our darkest fears. I know that shortcoming all too well. It is through accepting what we cannot change where we find the strength to move forward. We grieve, we move, and we grow. You will assist Crow when it comes time to perform the first severance ritual. We both know what form his nightmare will take. Something is coming, Guardian, and we are not prepared. Calus has begun to forge a bond between the Leviathan and the dormant pyramid buried on the moon. I do not yet know why or how. But with enough imprisoned nightmares, I can use their essence to invoke a ritual to sever those connections Calus is forging. As the nightmares on the Leviathan spread, it could threaten Earth and beyond. Calus's bond with the pyramid endangers all of us. You have become a reaper of darkness, dooming slain nightmares to imprisonment within the crown. We cannot afford to fail again. And he is attempting to become one with the pyramid, so that he may control it, so that he may wield its power. We begin again, with fresh eyes and open hearts. I believe the commander has found the strength he needs. Through our bond, the Crown of Sorrow, we could convert the nightmares into a force against Calus. A ritual of this size will require a massive amount of power, and all of our combined efforts. Crow, Keitel, and Zavala will need to coordinate with you. Only to slaughter all of humanity at the behest of a voice whispering to him in the dark. They are born of darkness and drawn to it like moths to a flame. Calus is such a fire. In spite of our efforts, the lunar pyramid has surged to life, and the depths of the moon roar with this monumental change. Calus has assumed control. The nightmares are a weapon, and a weapon can be turned on its creator. I believe I have found a way to do just that. The dark below groans and churns with excitement at this revelation. Emanations from the lunar pyramid whisper a singular psychic demand to all who can perceive it. I would ask that you return to the Leviathan, continue to imprison the nightmares aboard it, while I attempt to ascertain what has changed. And Guardian, keep watch over Zavala. As with Crow,
the commander may find confronting his past to be the most difficult mission he has ever faced.
Your success with Crow isn't going to go unnoticed. Calus will push back. He may be doing so already.
Uldren is as much a part of Crow as the darkness is a part of you or me. And there is more to it than pain. The Leviathan has become an extension of the lunar pyramid, channeling feelings of shame and regret into reality. We stand at the precipice of victory. There is but one final link that remains between Calus and the pyramid, and we are ready to strike at it. To be this close and still feel as though it is but a mirage is infuriating. I will find the answer to our final severance. If we strike now, as one, at the heart of Calus's presence within the Leviathan, we may yet be able to prevent him from turning the power of the pyramid against us.
Recently I've been visited in the Helm and elsewhere by one of the nightmares Eris bound to the crown. We need to push harder.
Zavala is ready to face his past again. Collect the necessary reagents for the next ritual and join him on the Leviathan. Return to the Leviathan, Guardian. Harvest the nightmare essence we need to perform the ritual again. And perhaps this time acceptance will succeed where rejection has failed. You should return to the Leviathan. Continue harvesting the nightmares and disrupting Calus's plans. We will speak again soon. Calus may be gone, but the Leviathan remains, and it will take months to clear out the remaining nightmares and assure it is no longer a threat. I had thought his presence at the moon was fascination. He has always been an explorer of the unknown, a researcher of malign intent but boundless curiosity. We approached the last ritual of severance the wrong way, attempting to banish the nightmare of Uldren Sov. But I should have known. Denial is not the way. By helping Crow to accept his past as Uldren Sov, we have changed the inherent nature of a nightmare into something new. Zavala's wounds run deeper than he allows us to see. The lengths he has gone to cut himself off from his heart is familiar. I have advised her to remain aboard her flagship for now. In the meantime, we continue our preparations while I look for another solution. Even with all our strength, we barely stopped Calus. This was not a victory, Guardian. It has merely bought us time. There is no reaction from the Leviathan, no reaction from Calus, and the lunar pyramid's psychic emanations are quiet. But all may not be lost. Calus's psychic imprint is massive. Like a snail coiled within its shell, not all of him has slithered out of the Leviathan and into the pyramid. However, by my estimates, Calus has already infiltrated the paracausal matrix of the lunar pyramid. Calus knew exactly what he was doing, goading his daughter into striking out on her own, manipulating her. Kaitel has observed Crow and Zavala's successes from afar. She wishes to help us sever Calus's connection to the pyramid by confronting the nightmare of Dominus Gaul. Through the Leviathan, Calus's mind reaches down to the lunar pyramid, forging the connection that draws the nightmares to him. And should that connection be severed, so too must we marshal ourselves for the task ahead, for there is more at stake here.
When Kaitel tells the story, she speaks of the warriors who gave their lives to wound the beast first. paving the way for Acreus's victory.
After the Awoken fleet was decimated at Saturn, I held on to hope that Mara had survived.
Zavala used to talk about the last city late into the night.
You see where that has led him. He and his loyalists now rot from the inside out, just as his empire once did. Calus sat upon the royal balcony, dispassionate. But then I saw Keitel. The look in her eyes, issuing a silent command. Win and live.
It's strange, watching myself from afar, seeing who I might have been if given a second chance.
Perhaps. I could have even called myself a hero.
But like Hakim, Amanda is of her own mind. She does what she feels is right, no matter the risk.
But Keitel has shown me that no matter where we make our home, the Cabal will never lose sight of who we are.
Light and dark, good and evil. Never that simple, is it? Mara once asked me if I set out on such adventures for the benefit of our people, or simply so I could bask in their praise.
They did not expect me to befriend the Emperor. Nor did I. On the night of the coup, I could not meet his eyes.
I hope this time Zavala can learn to accept that.
Even the greatest gifts can be burdens if given to the unwilling. Maybe some would rather stay dead.
Now Tora Bottle has been laid to waste, and the Cabal seek refuge on the world I sought to claim. The irony wounds me.
With that kind of gift, it can be easy to think of yourself as invincible, immune to harm. The daughter I raised was raised by him too, in a way. In the lessons he taught me, in the parts of me he changed forever. I once asked Zavala's ghost Taj why one of his kind would ever raise a warlord. Civilization had collapsed. All humanity had ever built was buried in rubble. And yet, as we traveled, I saw how nature continued to thrive around us.
That's something the Reef's always known, caught between two cosmic forces, walking in the shadows between them.
Even after we parted ways, I never uprooted the part of myself that Zavala planted in my chest. It still grew, thrived.
You don't need the light to be a hero. And you're not a hero just because you wield the light. Remember that.
Humans have short memories. How could we not? In the face of infinity, our lives are so incredibly fleeting.
War without purpose is wasteful. War without honor is butchery. That is what sets us apart from the hive. A lesson Umun Arath never learned.
Grief and loss are powerful forces. They wear you down like rain on stone. Give them enough time, and they'll erode mountains. I've heard of some who didn't always see eye to eye, at times with lethal results.
Some would call that foolhardy, danger posed by those beasts lurks within such desires. Perhaps that is why he treated Keitel as he did, to forge her into everything he wished his legacy to be.
What that ends up being is entirely up to them. Just like it is for us. You know, my friend Jolion and I used to run circles around the Cabal. It was so easy to slip past them unnoticed.
His exile was no less depraved than his reign. He gorged himself upon his throne, be it on Tarabattle or the Leviathan.
It may sometimes seem that no single life matters, that the actions of one person are almost immediately lost to time.
You Guardians fell prey to as much before, did you not? You vanquished Riven only for your own wishes to be turned against you. I sought a different light. One that incinerated me. If I had stayed behind, perhaps Keitel and I could have saved Tarabattle together. We Cabal have destroyed worlds before, but only rarely. There is no honor in such atrocity.
In hindsight, I wonder whether that was the right choice. If we had intervened, would Calus have ever come to the Sol System? Would Gaul? Everything I did for her. That's true. I remember what that was like. Returning to a prince's welcome, adored and beloved across the reef. Crow and Glint seem close. Is it like that with all Guardians and their ghosts?
In the Dark Age, there were many small settlements scattered across the land. Caravans braved the wilds to deliver supplies to those in need.
Even when I aimed the Almighty at your son, I intended it only as a last resort. A decision I did not make lightly. So when the Praetorate first entreated me to join their cause, I agreed, and swallowed my distaste for deceit.
Always remember that you are one of the strongest people Zavala has ever met. And it is not because you know how to kill.
Apologies have never been my strong suit. I can only hope Crow proves better at them than I was.
He looks at her the same way he looked at Hakim. An orphan in need of a family, someone for him to protect.
Do you know the legend of Acreus, Guardian? First Emperor of the Cabal. He who defeated a mighty beast to claim the sun.
I often rode with him. It never hurt to have a surgeon along, just in case. When he was just a boy, Hakim asked Zavala how to become strong. Zavala smiled and said, "What makes you think I'm strong?"
We watched them build up their forces on Phobos and Mars. They never marched on the reef, so we stayed out of their way.
And so I did. On that day, I learned that the sweetest victory does more than buy life. It rewards hope.
But eventually, grief warped that hope into hatred. For everyone and everything.
We eat the mountains, we drink seas, our empire lives on.
He answered with a question of his own. If a warlord soldier stumbled into our camp, bleeding out, would I tend to their wounds, or let them die? The simple pleasure of a boring day spent with those I love. That was what Zavala yearned to build.
That couldn't have been easy on her. She's lost a lot of people over the course of her life. Some by her own hand.
None more so than Saladin. He never said so aloud, but you could tell by looking at him that he cherished his sisters and brothers in arms. Before there were Guardians, there were the Iron Lords. They thought themselves a noble order of knights, like in the ancient legends. I hope that one day, Saladin finds solace in a new order of knights.
Do the people of the last city ever cheer you when you come home? Do they celebrate your triumphs? Honestly, I don't know if I'd want him to. Sometimes, I'll catch myself wanting to reach out to Crow, so I can share with him a better way of doing things. The boon of experience.
To be remembered, one must write their own legend, strike the final blow, or be forgotten. That is the way of the Cabal.
Crow's fond of the fallen, isn't he? So was I.
To throw one's life away, safe in the knowledge that it will return. That is the antithesis of sacrifice. A mockery of the warrior's creed.
There are no excuses for what I did in those years. I know that. Just keep in mind that we all have reasons for the decisions we make. Even you.
Amanda Holliday. Do you know her, Guardian?
And then I'll wonder, would I have listened if anyone gave me that kind of advice? Would he?
How do you measure an eternity? How much value is there in nearly 2 decades of an immortal man's life? I can see why Zavala thinks that keeping people safe means keeping them at arm's length. I understand that all too well. The Fallen were only one of many threats humanity faced in the Dark Age. Famine, disease, exposure, warlords.
How is Petra these days? She and Crow didn't exactly part on good terms when they last met.
At first, she sought merely to understand our enemy. That desire festered into obsession. She came to worship their war god.
Let me tell you a secret. There's nothing that says it can't be both.
The light can perform miracles. I have seen it set broken bones, replace lost skin, even reconstruct someone from a pile of ash.
Because knowing the truth and being powerless to change it, that, my friend, is a curse.
I never met her myself, of course. I have seen her only through Zavala's eyes. There was a time when Guardians walked shoulder to shoulder with the people under their protection. Do you ever think of him alone on that peak all those years? His solitary, eternal vigil.
Exile was a mercy. When you next face him, Guardian, I trust you will be merciless. I would have liked to face an Ahamkara in battle, to bathe my blade in a dragon's blood.
Taj, of course, already knew what I would decide. That is why I cannot fault a ghost for whom they raise, not when I would do the same.
Everything my sister did, she did for you. For humanity. And this time, Mara won't look away. Guess we'll never know. The shot not taken, right? But that doesn't give her enough credit. When Mara asks a question, she wills the answer she wants into being. That's her real gift. I always thought my sister had all the answers. That she just knew everything.
If he was at all successful, then I know he would sacrifice everything to protect it. Not for himself, but for all who call it home. Just like I changed him.
But Crow, he sees in them a kindred spirit. A people who lost all that they were, and now have to build something new from the ashes. Some might say that makes us untrustworthy. Some might forget everything we lost when we stood in Oryx's path.
A power I failed to recognize until it bested me. May Calus make the same mistake!
But trust me, Guardian. There are some wounds that even the light cannot heal. When all seems lost, look not to the ruins. See the saplings that sprout anew and remember that life endures. Killing doesn't make you strong, he told Hakim. The strongest people are the ones who lift others up. Everyone speaks about the Golden Age in terms of progress and potential. But do you know what I find for the most?
To be a gladiator is to earn the right to leave with every battle. Victory bought one more day. Defeat meant death.
Back then, it was a dream. An impossible, beautiful dream. A place for people to live and not just survive.
Gladiator, Primus, Traitor, Dominus. All titles I have won. Never did I count hero among them.
I know Crow regrets the things he said to her. He now sees how desperately she was trying to protect him.
Because you can kill the fallen, Hakim answered. Zavala shared a look with me before he spoke again.
Now it is Keitel who rules the Empire, and her legacy will outlive us all. This abomination of a ship was meant to be a prison. Instead, Calus plated it in gold and called it a pleasure barge.
That was before the walls and towers, when hope was our only shield and community our refuge.
Calus never faced such adversity, and he knew it. He saw in me resilience he could never match. When I first met you in battle, Guardian, I thought you soft and weak. Not because you feared death, but because you did not. I see now that it is not your death you fear, but the death of those you defend. And that fear gives you power.
you'd have been jealous too.
But perhaps one day, he can remember how things used to be, and how they could be again. Perhaps we are merely pebbles skipping across the surface of an ocean. But the ripples we create continue onward, long after we sink into the sea.
The Cabal need not fear that outcome, for we do not make wishes. We forge our own fates.
I admired their tenacity. Back them into a corner and they'll die fighting. Not even their whirlwind could bring an end to their kind.
For years, I conspired with Calus's enemies to end his rule. I cared nothing for political revelries. But I knew Calus would lead the Empire to ruin. I came from nothing and rose to rule the Cabal. Every victory earned through battle and blood. But neither could I forsake my duty. Friendship would not blind me to Calus's weakness, and I would not allow it to become my own. Some among the Cabal have made extensive study of hive warfare. Keitl's first advisor, Omona Roth, was chief among them.
But the handful of years I spent with Zavala forever changed his life. And in turn, he changed the lives of all he met afterward, including yours.
Once, in a Colosseum, that fate loomed above me. A cleaver poised to fall upon my neck. And what would be my final moment? I looked to the crowd. She means to say that the source of the Cabal's strength is the Empire itself, not the one who leads it. But I hear a different message.
But now we have a fresh start, the Crow and I. We can be the man we were always meant to be. The adventurer, the rogue, the great hero.
But that was how Keitel saw me. Someone to admire and emulate. A guiding light in a starless sky. Know this, Guardian. The Cabal revere warriors, not war itself. We do not slaughter, we conquer.
The Cabal recognize might, yes, but their philosophy is not so simple. It's good to be back on Earth again.
Is there something that requires cleaning? Beware of the spill, Guardian. The Emperor possesses far more than this. Emperor Calus has a plan for you. The owner of this has fallen. You take their place. His graciousness is watching you. All these lights could be shadows. His graciousness asks that you use this well. Emperor Calus watches. Strength in light. When a shadow falls, another rises. I will help you if I can. You want more? Seek out the Emperor. This is a mere bauble from the Emperor's vast collection. Enjoy life while you still can. Excuse me, Guardian. Calus has seen the end. Everything you know is a lie, Guardian. Please watch your step. Do you like it? It comes with a price. The tale of Emperor Calus is rife with struggle and triumph. He was betrayed by those closest to him and exiled by the very people he led to glory. The Cabal sealed him and his loyalists aboard his flagship and sent them to the edge of the universe. Now he has returned, and he expects the Cabal to return to him. The end is coming. The Emperor calls on you. His embrace is loving. An expedition for the Emperor. Stay in the Emperor's graces. You have no idea what is coming. How may I help you, Guardian? They don't even know they're on the wrong side. The shadows were the long arms of the Emperor. They were his blade in the night, forged in the aftermath of the great betrayal. The armor of the Emperor is the mantle of the shadows. Wear it and you send a message to this entire system. The shadows return, and they are guardians. Traveler, keep you safe. Emperor, save you. Emperor Calus wishes you to have this. Welcome. Security protocols on standby. The traveler has been busy. Please step clear, Guardian. So many lights, so little time. The Emperor has been to the edge of the universe and back. He returns to you now at the news that Gaul of the Red Legion is dead. He expects all Cabal, no matter their ideology or creed, to return to his loving embrace. You are traveler spawn. Do you know what that means? The Emperor cautions, don't waste this. His graciousness can provide anything if you earn it. Axe, Zavela, Saladin, Amanda, Ikora, Kadi, Hawthorne, Zur, what are you called? Your speaker has been untruthful. If you need assistance getting acclimated, maps are available. A task from the Emperor himself. Maintenance pending. I am obligated to remind you not to discuss classified operations in public spaces. A gift from his graciousness. You have earned this, so says the Emperor. Please do not litter. Emperor Calus has spoken. Please do be careful. Only a shadow of the Emperor wears these. More where this came from. The Emperor's wealth is vast. To take this is to accept your role. Security protocols updated. Remaining on standby. Ready for reassignment. I am here for maintenance and custodial needs. A new lesson from the Emperor. Excuse me, Guardian. Traveler, keep you safe. Like you, the Emperor is impossibly old, older than he can remember. He finds you fascinating, the raw potential you represent. Will you heed his words? Will you embrace all that you can become? Emperor, save us. Emperor Calus possesses feats of strength and miracles of technology your feeble mind could not comprehend. He has puppets everywhere at once, as evidenced by my presence. This broom is not just for show. His reach is limitless. You amuse the Emperor. Emperor Calus owns the path. Welcome home, Guardian.
I want boots on the ground for a closer look.
Your ghost indicates there are officers carrying vital intelligence nearby. Take them out and get us that data.
We've spotted an Imperial land tank tearing through Nessus. Ikora thinks it has something to do with Keitel's efforts.
This commander was a mere legionary under Gaul's rule. These officers are carrying vital intel. Take them out. We need it all. He has since risen to become a warlord among the remnants of the Red Legion, and now that butcher carries Keitel's banner. He personally pulled the trigger on a horrifying amount of lightless Guardians during the Red War. New objective. Based on the field intelligence you recovered, we believe a former Red Legion commander is on site, directing from the ground.
Listen closely, Guardian. Calus's daughter, Empress Keitel, has arrived in our system, hoping to reunify the Cabal Empire.
Break their front line and get us eyes on it. End him. Divide leadership on the ground long enough for our scouts to determine what Keitel is planning. We have what we came for. Get out of there now! Guardian, the Cabal tank is ahead. And perhaps get justice for the Guardians he sent to their final deaths. Welcome aboard the helm, Guardian. The hub for emergency logistics and maneuvers. We'll continue upgrading this space as situations in the system evolve. So check in often to get the latest developments. Here you'll find the assets and information you need to complete our most time-sensitive operations.
Well, there it is. You've baffled the Scions and terrified their commanders. Death Scholar is what they call you now, Warlock. The Cabal say hunter knives are as sharp as warbeast teeth, that no armor can stop them. I may have verified that rumor. Your opponents couldn't pin you down, Hunter. Keitel's Scorpius engineers aren't sure their turrets can either. I just heard a Centurion cheer for you. Bring your light to bear, Guardian. When I return to Keitel's fleet, I want to hear them speaking your name. A fine display. Soon Keitel's Empire will be broadcasting your matches on every screen in the fleet. Your opponents broke your charge, Titan. Next time, you'll just have to hit them harder, like a Cabal slug launcher. The Scions are running the odds on your victory, Warlock. Wait until they see you fight. I've been hosting a banner for the Cabal on Keitel's staging ship. They're ferocious warriors, but they're no Iron Lords. Not like you. Cabal warriors value strength, Titan. I can think of no better example than you. I'm directing the banner feed to Keitel's flagship. Give them an education on Guardian warfare. Dominate this battlefield, control the zones, and make every phalanx watching this feed cower behind their shield. You tore through your opponents without hesitation, Titan. Keitel's gladiators offer their cleavers as tribute. When the Cabal are outmaneuvered, they double down and charge. Take that determination into your next match, Hunter. Exude grace in your defeat. Guardians and Towerfolk aren't the only ones watching this match. Keitel's gladiators whisper about you between matches. They think you're unkillable. Prove them right. Think. Consider your strategy, and see where it faltered, Warlock. The Scions are eager to see how you approach your next match. When Cabal are defeated in honor duels, they mark their wounds with their opponent's name. Do the same in your mind, until they can no longer best you. Show the Empress what Guardian artillery looks like. Keitel's legionaries are watching, Guardian. Show them why they should stay on our good side.
If you seek the means to live to your potential, I can guide you to it. Come, you deserve an audience with me. I will show you true power. Emperor Calus has spoken. There is power in this universe beyond your feeble light. Are you thirsty? Can I get you something to drink? Amuse me, Traveler Spawn. Enter the gauntlet. You're the evening's entertainment. Ha! The royal nectar of the baths enhances the bodies and minds of every soldier on this ship. You should partake. Ha! Relish the gardens. If you don't stop to enjoy the small things in life, you diminish the crucial moments. You are far more entertaining than I had anticipated. Meet with me in person. You fight with passion. Good! Ha! 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 What strength! I'll leave you with those words and these parting gifts. Take them and grow fat from strength. Emperor Calus has spoken. Everything you know is a lie. There is a truth beyond what your people and your speaker have told you. Do you still believe you're on the right side? Mull it over and enjoy my gifts to you. Now you've seen everything. My soldiers use the baths for recreation and recuperation. I'm sure they'll welcome you. Here is beauty to your light. Let me admire it up close. The gardens contain the floral emblem of the Empire, the plants from which we derive royal nectar. Enjoy them. Can my servants fetch you a beverage? I suppose you've killed most of them. This vessel will challenge you in ways you have never dreamed. Let's enjoy ourselves. I can take you to that truth if you seek me out. These gifts are a reminder of my words. You've accepted my challenge. Good! I would be pleased to see what your light can do. You're tense. Why don't you relax in the bars? Join my soldiers in their revelry. They won't mind. Impress me, and I will show you the path to true power. Come to my chamber. Let us drink together. You look even smaller in person. Prove yourself worthy, and I will grant you the means to true power. Defiant till the end! Magnificent! The gardens are beautiful, but watch your step. You never know where a beast might lurk. Nothing survives the gauntlet, but it will entertain us to see you try. I possess the means to true agency beyond your feeble light. Seek me out, and perhaps I'll show you how to grow fat from strength.
It's important that people in the last city feel like they're living, not just surviving. Hidden reports from Vex sectors grow more troubling by the day. Congratulations on your performance in the Guardian Games. This is an opportunity for Titans, Warlocks, and Hunters alike to celebrate the Traveler's gifts with a little healthy competition. But don't forget, whoever wins, we're all on the same side. Good luck out there, Guardian. To that end, I've asked Eva Levante to bring back the Guardian Games. For the first time in a long time, we have a moment of respite. I intend to make the most of it. Your teammates are grateful for your efforts. At the end of the games, one class will rise above the others. With that competitive fire, I know we'll always show strong, whatever the outcome. However, now that we've united the tower with a much-needed break, it's back to business. And if I recall correctly, the last time we did this, my Titans achieved what can only be described as a blowout. Whatever they're planning, I know we can overcome it, as long as we stand together.
the words of people reaching for dawn in this endless night. People who have still not given up hope. Neither have I. The future war cult has long used Vex-derived technology to see into the future. Greetings, Guardian. I'm Lakshmi II of the future war cult, and I'm here to offer my assistance. Because you need it quite badly. Pride is a dangerous affliction. It is clear Ikora suffers from it. And yes, I know, I do as well. Tell it that the future war cult will personally replenish their supplies when they are ready to move on. I do not wish them to think badly of us. When I foresaw the Red War, they laughed. Until Gaul bound the traveler. The city deserves someone who acts, someone who does what is right, even if it is unpopular. Do you see? I can admit when I am wrong. Which is more than I can say for some of our current leaders. Ikora listened to my report, but she chose not to hear it. The Vanguard would rather protect its image than its people. We can change this future. Stop it from happening. I am not a diplomat, and sometimes I can be terse. I have glimpsed our future, Guardian, and what I saw was chilling. I know they are your associates. What a city we would have if everyone's heart was as big as yours. When I requisitioned this transmitter, I was told the helm would be a secured location. I suppose this will have to do. Oh, Guardian, I wanted to be among the first to send my regards. I won't bore you with an explanation of mind forking. I look forward to working with you, Guardian. Together, we can protect our city from all who would wish it harm. You did what had to be done to protect your city. You acted bravely. I admire you for that. This time, I will not whisper my warnings. I will not be polite. After all, you destroyed Queria against the wishes of countless Vex. And if you were wondering, this was not the conflict I have foreseen. No. That will come later. Unless I can stop it. Our city could use more heroes. I will speak to the fallen leader if they begin to act against us. Well, Guardian, I regret you had to witness my outburst earlier with the fallen leader. You understand, though? The city is a living thing, and it is rejecting the fallen, like a fever burning out an infection. Your victory today has lifted a great weight from my chest. I feel like I can breathe again. A group of fallen, the same fallen I saw earlier, skies dark with smoke, shouting, gunfire, and in the center of it all, standing in our city. While I monitor your progress against the Vex and assist where I am able, I will observe these fallen. I hope you're not too proud to accept my praise. Even though we may not see eye to eye. Rise up as one, march toward the sun. Have you heard the song of the people echoing through the city? You and I, we will speak more when this ugliness is behind us. After the fallen have returned to space, and this endless night is a memory. I know terrible things have been done in the name of the city. In the name of the future war cult. In my name, suffice to say, we understand its dangers and use the device responsibly. And so, I will handle things myself. The war cult hopes you use this well, which wise guardians will pledge to our cause and know victory I wonder. Until time bends and brings you back, Guardian. The simulations paint a grim picture for the Riftborn. Behold the city as it should be, as it will be. The fault was in our predictions, not in those loyal to us. I find warlocks most suited to understanding our subtle mysteries. Bear this heat as you would any other pain. We meet again. You've been to the lighthouse. I can see the sparks. The war cult will be watching. War is the place for you, Titan. Be well. We need you, Guardian. And you need this. Isn't it lovely how a little proof brings great success? Half the city is clamoring to join the cult now. Let that orbit gather a few gullible guardians and fly out of this system. It wouldn't be a loss. I would be more certain of victory if we had not lost so many loyal soldiers in the war. An inevitable price, and yet I begin to feel regret. Vindication is indeed satisfying. We felt thus when the Red Legion came, and we feel it again now. Good, you're here. Then so is the war. Our hypotheses were correct. We defended the city. The consensus glorifies us, and yet I still long for another future. I still wish to see her. Titan, how does the prospect of infinite wars sound to you? We have never lacked for postulants, but our victory has brought a flood. Some are worthy, some are not. To new beginnings. Not that we haven't already seen them. Did curiosity or desire bring you? Either way, we have a task for you. Take this and the war to the stars. We observed and we prepared, and on the day war came to this city, we saved many. Jalal, a victor. I have not heard a joke this good in a long time. Petra and her Riftborn play at politics too, Guardian. Make no mistake. Hunter, have you learned to use secrets like knives? Did you want to learn? I could tell you a story about a broken city and a cult prepared for war. But you've heard that one, Guardian. We must create the future we hope to see. And creation is a violent business. Subtle. Very subtle. Do tell. Every small advantage helps. And so, you return to war. Be well. A million timelines woven into each other. Some spiraling, some tangling, and the needle of future war cult pierces them all. Loitering won't get you to the inner circle, Guardian. If, like Hideo, I had lost a sibling in the Red War, perhaps I too would fixate on the trifles of the present moment. Future war cult is selective in recruiting, but you would make the cut. Generosity to future war cult is repaid many times over. Crowns can be dangerous. I have seen the bloody consequences, both in the past and in what is to come. It's cold. The levers of power are in our hands. Now we must find plausible candidates, without clear affiliation to future war cult, to pull them. Have you found a partner yet? Time slips by. You have fighting spirit. You will need it. Seasons can change, but the war cult will always be here. Ours is not an easy war. Perhaps this will help. In your hands, the future is safe. Relatively. Spring will always arrive, whether we have or not. I remember when Hideo crawled out of the wreckage, weeping, having lost everything that mattered. I do not think he has forgotten, even with all this. The city's fate is continued conflict. We knew this. Take it. Fight for the future. We will integrate this data, run our simulations, and improve our hypotheses so the next time we do not lose. You've reached the lighthouse. Remarkable. They should have listened to us. Too bad. Reality maps precisely to a set of complex mathematical models still unknown to us. We glimpse parts of it, now and then, and solve what we can. They say you are a hero. Prove it. You look like one whose will bends timelines. Would you care to try? Represent us well, Guardian. Use it well. The war cult is counting on you. That damn brag of an Iraq thinks he can escape an inescapable future. War will follow his sad shapes wherever they go. Our philosophy could prepare him. But is he interested? This time, you see, we will take the war to them. Our enemies will not be able to hurt the city then. However many points Jalal scores in these trivial contests, the truth does not change. War will return to this city. The consensus will turn back to the future war cult. The future needs you. Fear is the greatest threat to a rider's outcome. There was a time during the Red War when Hideo and Jalal and I worked sleeplessly on rescue and relief missions, side by side. It seems that sense of unity is gone when your faction has experienced losses on so many other fronts. Who am I to begrudge them a small victory? The war cult knows exactly what we have lost. No need to celebrate it. Once I walked a lonely path, friendless and unwanted, dreaming of such a day as this. Those who see truly, without distortion, will look through all this frippery to what lies beneath. An empty puppet, a glum drip of oil, and a soldier readying herself for war. This victory confirms the accuracy of our simulation parameters. Everything can be a weapon in our war. Good. Very good. Oh, no. The time for me to tell stories is over. War has come, and it demands my complete attention. You stare and say nothing, Guardian. Are you foolish, I wonder, or truly wise? In a million other timelines, the city is destroyed by Vex, or Fallen, or Taken, or Hive. What's constant is the struggle. This is yours. The war cult predicts great success from you. Half of the inner circle vanished during the Red War. We did not predict their deaths, so they must still be alive somewhere. In another timeline, Dead Orbit lost and we won. A poor consolation. The lighthouse. Shax must respect you. So the consensus has let Jalal pull the wool over their eyes. That is their problem, not mine. What can we do together, I wonder? Do you have a story to tell me? May all your timelines be bright, Hunter. Our timelines intersect again. A message of despair may win out for a time. A lasting victory requires us to prepare for endless war. Are you looking for a glimpse of the terrible, wonderful future? Does that attract you? Did you think victory would oil my jaw and cause me to speak openly of secrets? I am so sorry to disappoint. Take that to battle. You'll do well. We have won. Now we bring a new vision to this city. Forget the dark past and where you've come from. The future shall be brutal and glorious. Is that the sound of new monarchists celebrating that I hear? Ironic. You don't need to do this alone, Hunter. The war cult is here. I've seen hunters cut through braided timelines to a single gleaming future. I don't know how you do it. Warlock, a mind like yours might penetrate the fog that hides the future. Would you like to try? We are gracious in triumph. Let all contenders know a little of our bounty and mystery. I await your information. New Monarchy and Dead Orbit tell charming tales for children. Our stories are war stories. You fight for the future. Good. We need you. Will you help us? Oh, Hideo, Hideo. Such unnecessary griefs are yours. If you only had joined us, we could have taught your sister to protect herself. I see battle in your future, Warlock. Go bravely. It's been postulated that our interrogation of time might attract unwanted attention from other dimensions. It's quite exciting. When we have implemented the Pleiades strategy, we will not need to fuss around with enemy supply crates. You'll see, Future War Court has always extended a hand to the destitute. We advertise for volunteer test subjects and pay them handsomely. Remember when they laughed at us? What do you think they say now? We never forget those who assist us, not in a million timelines. Come to help us. New Monarchy can enjoy their trifling honors. Zavala still consult with us, quietly, when no one can see. I can't begin to count those who passed. Come, Guardian, join us. Ready this city for the next war. Go swiftly into war, Hunter. There's levity in the air. I don't trust it. A Guardian at rest, between the stories. What an unusual sight. Titan, a warrior like you understands the glory of struggle. Whatever best equips you for war. The time to act is now, Guardian. These temperatures are bad for my chassis. This city looks like it's mourning, not celebrating. I suppose that is appropriate. She has been silent for so long. No one has seen her in years. But I have faith. If we teach the refugees how to fight and survive, how to make new futures, perhaps they will be less afraid. Future War Cult welcomes you. The tower has turned the color of blood. New monarchy is more prescient than they know. Guardian, I see a little of your future as it forks, and the path to victory is with us. How did Eris Morn fare? This outcome indicates an anomaly in the timeline. We must investigate and integrate this reality into what is postulated. And then we must pull the timeline back to its proper path. May this help you return intact. What I wouldn't give for a little color around here. The dawning is here. As expected, another dawn has come. Are you ready, Guardian? The Iraqs celebrate their victory, and I celebrate our conversion of 2 new monarchists and an executor to our cause. It is a good thing we take the long view of temporality. Otherwise, I might have felt discouraged. Can you fight in this heat? You'll have to. Refugees, refugees, refugees. Of course we'll serve them, convert them, bring them into the mysteries, but only the worthy ones. They speak of ancient treasures, recently unearthed by landslide and weathering, waiting for claimants. Of course the consensus wants a cut, but they have promised a share to the finders as well. Your war unto yourself, Titan. I admire that. Future War Cult contains circles upon circles. What will you do to enter them? A few ribbons, a compliment, a handful of bubbles, and the new monarchists lose their minds. Welcome, Slayer of Gaul. I see so many timelines converging upon you. While the Iraqs are distracted, we will consolidate our influence among the lesser players. Sound them out. Take our war to the stars, Guardian. A long time ago, I looked into the flames of war and saw a branching future. There would be war, always. But what we chose to do, that choice mattered. We could cultivate beautiful futures, or hideous ones. I have experienced greater losses in the Red War. Brothers and sisters, whose futures were projected, certain. Compared to that, this is nothing. Let's see what you can do with this timeline. Throw caution to the wind. Your race is already determined. Great things can come out of competitive spirit. Once, we competed to design the most accurate simulations of the local multiverse. I foresaw a bloody battle, which came to pass and won. That was the beginning. A little triumph goes a long way. All the way to Ikora's ears. She was here earlier, asking questions. About what? Oh, that is a secret. You are powerful, Guardian. A shame your body won't handle temporal stress. Dead Orbit thinks they offer the best chance of survival. Ha! Future War Cult prepares the city for war and for victory. This will aid you in your fight. Let the monarchists have their little party. War is coming. War is always coming. May this serve you well. The rewards that we shall offer when we prove victorious. Honor, a place in the cult, weapons deadly beyond imagination. Until we meet again, in futures yet to be simulated. Oddly, confirmation of our predictions is the least exciting outcome. We were right. We won. We have secured the goodwill of the consensus. The Pleiades strategy continues on schedule. In another timeline, this tower is red with flame. not cloth. Will we be ready when that timeline bends back to this one, I wonder? Will you be our sword? A few supplies, 1 or 2 undiscovered secrets, the destruction of a handful of enemy assets. From such stones do we build victory. Secrets of the war cult won't help you select a crimson bond. What do you think of future war cult now? The war cult will find the best riders, anything to further the cause. You're an unpredictable variable in every simulation we run, Guardian. The consensus believes we can steal a march on our enemies by destroying their supplies. This is true, but it also lacks ambition. The war cult would undo what we've lost. Spring has come, and there's no weather but war. A broken heart is not the end, Guardian. A challenge for you, Guardian. Or perhaps it is a riddle. Future war cult has seen what you can do. The only thing you need to know about me is that my predictions were correct. War came, we were vindicated. Hideo can be so charmingly enthusiastic. Look at how our victory has caused this tower to bloom. But what does future war cult think? The consensus asks. About time. I look forward to the stories you will bring us. The tower may fall, the city may fall, future war cult shall endure. Tell me what I can do for you, Guardian. The future slips by like a river. If the simulations are right, cold is the list of our worries. What do you think you will learn about future war cult by standing there? Take this and fight for the war cult, Guardian. Anything of note? Of course future war cult will win. This has never been in doubt. I trade in words yet to be written. Warlock. You wear the dust of war, Guardian. Come back with another story. We pay well for data. To walk among refugees is to feel their terror. A heavy feeling, like drowning. No good future can come from that. Perhaps we can help. Only the wise can glimpse the future. Only the brave can face what they see there. Is that you? Bah! This loss is a trifle. We have acquired valuable data for our prediction engines. That is more important. I see the scars of time and war. You can't just come in close and expect an invitation to the inner circle. That's not how it works. I understand them better than you might think. Long ago, I too was flotsam from a brutal war. Future war cult found me. Now I can do the same for others. The war cult takes care of its operatives. Hideo is so very focused on the present, he misses the futures flowing and ebbing around us. May you triumph in all your wars, Titan.
I was lost once, exiled from my people, floating aimlessly amongst the stars. Go, ignite the spark that casts the shadow of Earth. You've proven you can. Restore the chalice, so that you may fill it to the very brim with the viscera of your enemies. Your tenacity made you my favorite Earthling, so I built you a hall, a monument to your achievements. Put in a good word for me. I've never been granted an audience with the Awoken Queen. So you have the ear of the Queen's wrath. No Reefborn Awoken has fallen to shadow, and yet there is darkness where they dwell. Your hall overflows with tributes, and in return, you grow fat from strength. 2 years ago, Dominus Gaul had you. I would so love to meet what they hid behind their borders. The light left you, told you all was lost. But you disagreed, and now here you are. You've improved the chalice. Your taste is impeccable, but it remains incomplete. I'll see you soon, O champion mine. It's time you and I met more intimately. I've sent a gift to Nessus for you. The ascendant artifact you've returned to me is an echo of that truth. Oh, champion I found it. Something breathtakingly glorious. The truth of the universe. If you wish to finish your chalice, come to the Leviathan. Ah! Finally found you! You're a busy little knight. If you two should meet, consider his welcome overstayed, and his riches yours for the taking. And do not forget to drink your fill. How else will you grow fat from straying? Oh, I love to see you revel in triumph! The menagerie awaits you, Guardian. You'll have to fill it yourself, of course, but I know how you like to collect. Doesn't matter what you have to kill. One of my loyalists controls them. He possesses an artifact of ascendant authority. Unfortunately, wielding it has cost him his mind.
I am here for maintenance.
I've been watching you. All your good work. I believe you're ready. The future can't be fought. There is a dark place aboard my ship that you have never been, where I was reborn, like you were reborn. My shadows are a chosen people, selected from the best of each world I've encountered. Do you recognize me? It's your beloved Emperor Calus. I think it's time you lit the way, Guardian. You and I will need it before the end comes. This chalice is my gift to you. It is a symbol of power for a shadow of Calus. They're a hive aboard the Leviathan. They are mine, though they don't know it.
The exalted Emperor Calus is pleased with your efforts. Your intervention demonstrated to his gloriousness your willingness to do what is necessary. Feel free to return to his Leviathan. Survive its challenges, and my lord will reward you gratuitously for your victory. The situation on the Leviathan with that troublesome Valkaur caused our most opulent benefactor some consternation, and while his predilections tend toward excess, the Emperor admires your capacity for wanton violence.